How's it going? I don't know why I said this so weird, but hi.
I was on board. The only problem is that when we ask how's it going, they can't quite answer because they don't have audio.
Yeah, I mean, well, they can answer in the chat though. They can say, "Oh, it's going great. Here I am." Type, type, type.
Now that you say that, that makes sense.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Type, type, type. All right, everybody. Hello. My name is Amanda, and I will be the person that hosts the stream tonight because this is my channel. And
Wow. This is
Sure
a
is.
strong one.
thanks. I am a YouTuber and a content creator and a streamer, a variety streamer. I do a variety of things on here. And I'm also an actor and a cosplayer. So if you're new to the stream, welcome on in. So happy to have you here. This is our indie RPG night. And on our indie RPG night, what we do is we play indie RPGs, which are usually single session RPGs. We tell a little story, and I get to do it with my lovely friends, Kurt and Anthony. So, Kurt and Anthony, introduce yourselves.
Anthony, would you like to lead?
Oh.
No.
My connection is slightly unstable.
Oh,
You guys should just keep talking for a second while I
all
while I
right.
fix this
Sure,
situation.
sounds good. Well,
Okay.
before we do any more Anthony
You can introduce
intro,
me.
I'll just say hi. Hi Chris, hi Sai, hi Rapala.
Hi,
Nice
everyone.
to see everybody.
So
Hope
lovely
your
to see you
movie's
in
good,
chat.
Rapala. My name's Kurt. Hi, everyone. I am an RPG designer and a player of many RPGs, a lover of many RPGs. Boy, I think they're neat. So that's one of the things we're going to be doing today. In fact, that's the thing we're doing today. We're playing RPGs. And while Anthony is absent, I will say who Anthony is because Anthony asked us to. And that's what friends do. This is Anthony.
Yes.
This empty space that dwells up here is the place that Anthony will be again sometime very soon.
One day. He'll
One
be there.
day. Do you think if I reach my hand far enough, I'll be able to pet the kitty cat at the bottom of the screen?
Yes.
Oh, actually, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I
Oh,
wish
it
I was
feels-
below the cat.
Yeah, well, it's just me. Oh, soft tummy. Anthony is a children's book author and economics doer. Anthony's like a real smart human being.
You guys
who
are
joined-
both economics doers.
That's true. Although mostly I do policy these days. What does that mean?
Oh.
It means Kurt uses less numbers and more typey, righty. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we also have a very interesting thing that we're going to be building together tonight. If y'all are down with that.
If
Oh.
you're not, we'll probably do it anyway. to be
Probably
honest
we
with you.
will. But also, it looks like Anthony is coming back. So, Angelus, thank you so much for the hydrate. Also, Atomic Sorcery, thanks for saying that we're neat. I think you were talking about us. I think this was in response to
Might have been about
someone saying,
RPGs.
"Oh, RPGs." Fair. Fair.
We've got a hydrate, so bottoms up.
Oh. Well, I was exhausted after all of that cable laying I just had to do. But I think I should be more stable from now on. Do I seem okay? Am I present?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you're present. I've already introduced you, so haha, you have nothing left to say. I petted your cat. I said who
No.
you are.
Wow.
Damn. Okay, I'm just gonna take this stream off. Kurt can do all the Anthony lines that we scripted before this. This is a fully scripted stream, by the way.
Even page 32, because that's like all of us back and forth the whole time. I feel like
I
it
believe
won't-
in you. You're one of the most talented actors I've ever seen.
All right.
That's unbelievable to say in front of a real actor.
Also, thank you
With
for
real
the
talent. It's
stretch
kinda
and
rude.
the posture check, Angelus. Appreciate that. I just did mine. I feel very.
Thanks, Serenity.
I feel like I'm sitting up really good. The hat is sending me nice. I feel like I should put earbuds in because I feel like I'm ruining the vibe with my headset. What do you guys
I
think?
mean, like, I'm not even. This is the least era thing. Why are we talking about eras, folks?
Oh yes. Why are we talking about eras?
Hey, that's a
Kurt?
question.
Today we're going to be playing a game called Broken Cities, in which our characters will be exploring a 1920s, 1930s era city, a mishmash of different imagined surreal slice of weird cities in Europe. It's going to be a weird, cool time.
It's a mishmash, if you will.
It is. A mishmash.
Ooh, you're getting into
of all kinds
character.
of things.
Mishmash.
Transatlantic accents are the word of the day. See,
See?
we are going to behave. At least one of us is be a traveler, and at least one of us is the city itself.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's right. I don't know how it's going to shake out in terms of who's going to do what role, but we are explicitly told that any division of labor is fine. We just need to have at least one of each.
So at least one city, at least one traveler. There's 3 of us. So that means there might be multiple travelers. Might be multiple people collaborating on the city as well.
Yeah, we're gonna find out which role will have 2 of us based on what we think is most interesting to do. This game is played with a deck of cards, and since we're not in real life with each other, I know you can't tell from the internet since you're all on the internet, but yeah, it's going to be an online service where we'll draw cards and play them. We were in a mid-2000s indie pop band. What would we be called? I've got a list. Hold on.
You have a list?
Yeah. Who doesn't have a list?
I mean...
You guys don't have a list?
Of mid-2000s indie pop band names?
Not like
I
on
haven't been
standby,
keeping mine up. Yeah.
But I like that you have a list. I like that even when Anthony and I are not prepared, you're prepared for this situation.
Yeah.
That's what I appreciate about you.
Even
White
when we're
Elephant
not prepared.
Blues, ironically, Copper Kite is here. I hadn't joined Twitch yet, where it found its destiny. That's my handle on Twitch, so if you see Copper Kite saying things, it's me. Squirrel Paw, Secondhand Sunlight, Nopal
Nice.
Squirk, which doesn't
Ooh.
mean anything.
Weird.
Bumbletree, Willow Bark, Attic in the Castle, Parchment Promise, Empty
Ooh.
Ages, Sweetgrass.
Attic in the Castle.
Attic in the Castle.
I love that attic in the castle. That's my favorite place for the attic to be.
Good place.
We also have a wheel.
Oh, we have a wheel. We should fill out our wheel.
We should fill out our wheel. I'm just going to adjust this chat box. Sorry, friends. Put you over here. So you're all
The wheel
black.
is a new addition to Amanda's
All
streams.
profit, baby. Yeah, wheel's
It is.
new. If people sub, she gives it a spin and something's gonna happen.
Yeah, so we have 2 spots on the wheel right now. And one of them is a silly voice, and one of them is gift a sub, which means that if I get that, then I gift a sub. Or a member,
Is it
depending
recursive?
on... What? Yeah,
If
it's going
you
to
get-
happen again? Yeah, if I spin
Okay,
it
yeah.
and I get it multiple times. Like if I... Oh, see, that was perfect. So that could be what happens. Then if that happens, I have to take my hard-earned monies and I spend them and I gift a sub to you. To someone.
Wait,
in
it
chat
costs
random.
you money as well?
I spend money. Yeah, when I gift a sub,
But it also goes to her.
Oh yeah.
Part of it.
Transaction fees.
part of it goes
Okay.
to me. Yes.
We're really puzzling this. Anthony and I are like, hold on, what's the math on this? How does it work in
or
taxes?
50% or 40%? I don't know what the split is. I should probably know that.
Something like that.
Something
Okay, but
like
we have what looks like 8 more spaces on this wheel. So we've got a lot of work to do. I think normally these spots on the wheel are sort of like more things that might be sort of better for when Amanda's streaming by herself. But we're RPGing today, so
But-
we have a whole host of new possibilities.
It's a totally customizable wheel, guys, so we can put whatever we want on it. Whoa.
Whoa, it's crazy.
How did we break the cities? Atomic Sorcery is asking.
The city was broken long before we got here. Amanda, I think we discussed name an NPC as an option, so I'm going to ramble really briefly about this book.
Okay.
This is a game book that does something very weird, which is that it's written in universe as if the things that we're doing are real. It's structured such that if you're reading it, there's a lot of a person talking to you about the world of the broken city, and not just this is a rules of a game. So how did it break? I don't know. Kind of a wild situation. Did you
I'm
write
so
anything
excited.
down there, Amanda, or did you just coast along for the ride?
There was a miscommunication. Amanda's busy doing other things.
I was looking at
So
the
we've-
YouTube chat. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're streaming. You're a bit hardworking streamer.
Could you say that one more time for me?
We were thinking that we
said-
could name an NPC on the wheel.
Ah, yes, we could do that. I also
Mhm.
liked Serenity's suggestion of leave the blank spaces blank and let chaos reign. I think that's always fun.
We could leave a blank space and you could fill it in when you roll it. So
Oh,
the first time you
let
roll it,
chat
you get
fill
to
it in?
decide. Yeah.
I like that. It's, I mean,
But
obviously,
you've got to roll it again in order for it to be triggered. You see?
right? Yes. I mean, we could have the blank space that, yeah, and then once it's triggered, well, there's a lot that we could do with that. I think we could have one that's like customize the wheel, and so when you get that, you choose one to remove, and then you choose a new one to add. That could also be crazy.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, obviously, we
about-
get the right to veto anything. Just FYI. You can't be like, give me $1 million, because I'm going to be like, well, I don't have $1 million, so that's unfortunate.
That's why the wheel exists.
Yes, that's
Right.
that's why the wheel is here, you see.
So that in the future, Amanda can give away
Give you $1 million.
Yes, in the future.
Correct. That's the goal.
Riddlelock is asking, how do you spin the wheel again? So as it says on the stream, if you see on the overlay, one sub or one member, it gives you one spin on the wheel. So you can, if you already are a sub or a member, depending on if you're on, Twitch or if you're on YouTube, you can gift one. And if you gift, then I spin it. And depending on how many times you gift will depend on how many times I spin it. Also, there might be drilling that happens above. Don't worry.
I don't think we
There's
can
been
hear
oil
it.
found in Amanda's apartment.
There's oil in this apartment. Yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna
what's
make it
happening.
big on the Gulf Sea.
I don't know what's happening, but there's some drilling that's been happening above. But we haven't heard it for a long time, so I think we're safe. I can just hear them clunking around.
Clunking. Getting that drill in place.
Get that drill in place. Get that oil. Amanda looks like she made a coat out of her hair, says
Right?
Jack Muad'Dib. Yeah, I know, it blends in with my hair really weirdly well. I don't think it actually is the same color as my hair. I think it has to do with the lighting or something. I mean, it is close, but it's more brown. Well, I guess it is a reddish brown, and my hair is very copper. It's very red. But yeah.
Amanda's discovering this live on stream.
It's all a journey.
No, there is a color.
Oh, hey.
I decided to put on this coat last minute, and yes, it does sort of blend in with my hair. So you can enjoy that, and you can imagine, what if Amanda's hair was so long that it covered her entire body? This is what it would look like.
Or if she was a Yeti.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So name an NPC.
Right.
Great. Perfect. What about choose a location for a scene? Or what about like choose a word to include in a scene?
Word to include's doable for sure.
Yeah.
We
Right.
can do that. Locations are a little by the book here because
Okay.
that's part of the city's job.
Incorporate a word.
This is kind of like one of your channel point rewards, but what if you can like have just one musical scene,
A musical scene? Sure. I mean, yeah, there is also sing mode, but
Sure.
doesn't necessarily mean the scene will become a musical, because that's kind
Kurt,
of...
do you hate musical
that's
scene?
interesting.
I'm trying to read your
I was
face.
just thinking that you folks in the Twitch chat are on fire today. Absolutely grooving. Also, there's Bigfoot jokes in the YouTube comments. There's Yeti jokes in the Twitch comments.
This is
like
Crazy.
fabulous.
everybody's
Between-
on the same wavelength.
Everyone's
here.
vibing today. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to see. Amanda the Wookiee. Oh my gosh. I love this. I never thought when I put on this coat what it would mean to people today, but I love
Amanda
it.
giving the award speech. I'd like to thank the Bigfoot I skinned for this coat. As well, I would like to thank all the little people who aren't big-footed.
Ooh.
This
Skip.
coat was actually my grandmother's coat. Fun
Oh,
fact.
For real?
Actually. Huh.
It's my grandmother's coat. I'm sure
Do you
she
think that
would
she?
love to know that this is what I'm doing with it. She's like, wow,
Yeah.
she's somewhere looking down on us, and she's like, wow, really, you're playing an RPG game in the fur coat.
By somewhere looking down, Amanda means it's actually Grandma doing the drilling of floor
She
above.
loves to drill.
She's trying to look through with a little periscope, like in the old school submarines.
Oh my gosh, I can't. I love it. Okay. Musical scene. I mean, some of these we
Any
can come up with
suggestions?
as we go as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you
Anybody
wanna
in
wait-
chat got ideas for what we should put on the wheel?
Do you
I
two wanna
can
hear...
put one that's a blank space, and that's the one you get a.
That's our Taylor Swift sponsored appearance.
Yes.
I was gonna make that joke. I thought no
Blank
need.
space.
Oh yeah, well I didn't think it was good. I just had to say the words that came to my mind.
And
There's
then
one
for the blank
problem.
spaces that you name it, and then for the rest of the, like, the thing, like it's a one time. I like that.
Sure.
Okay.
Nice.
While Amanda puzzles away, Anthony, would you be interested in hearing a little about this city?
Oh, I would love to.
Well, you see, this city is not like any other. It's the broken city. Oh, how people get stuck there. How people travel there and then find themselves entranced by its ways. We are travelers, some of us. Some of us will play the city itself, and we are going to this strange place with a goal in mind. And another little goal that we'll pursue along the way. Before we begin, we're going to learn a little something about the city, and to do that, I would ask that at least one of you pull up the playingcards.io link that I sent on our little chit chat.
I'm ready.
And
I
I
have
see that someone has their cursor out there already. Do you want to draw a card? Person with cursor there?
Oh.
I have drawn a 5 of spades.
Cool.
Hello.
The 5 of spades is a 5.
The 5 of spades.
There's a table chat with a prompt that says the city looks like no other because, and the 5 says only children live there. But
What?
there's any number of other options we could have chosen. Are we interested in drawing a second one and picking our favorite between the two?
Sure.
Yes.
Do you want to draw it, Amanda? Are you there?
Sure. Do I just take it?
Yeah, just like that.
Boop. Oh wait, I have to flip it.
Flipper.
Oh, ah! 7 of spades.
7.
Yes.
7 reads, it seems completely deserted. Our choices are only children or nobody.
No one at all. I'll draw one more just to be a full set of 3, and we'll pick our best. The queen finally is, it's built on movable platforms.
That's also sick.
So I guess what's our vibe today?
I'm leaning towards children or movable platforms.
I like movable platforms.
Yeah. Kurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably me too. I'm glad we pulled the 3rd card.
Okay, nice.
I
Movable
love a
platforms.
good movable platform. So
I'm imagining that they're always shifting, you know? That like the blocks aren't necessarily where you last left them.
I feel like
Yeah.
Grandma's doing something with the pipes above me, so if I seem distracted, I apologize. But I don't know if you guys can hear it.
Grandma! Shut up, Grandma!
Something's happening. I think people are suggesting for the wheel speak in an old-timey accent
Oh,
or sing in an old-timey
absolutely.
accent.
Speaking in an old-timey accent is
That might be a
ideal for
freebie.
this game.
That might just, I know, I was just saying, that might just happen, but I'll put it on the wheel for you.
You might have
And
to
if we're
stop
not,
me.
And if we're not doing it,
Please
then,
stop.
or if someone's not doing it, then one more person
We'll all
will.
be doing it.
So do we do a sing or do we do speak?
Let's do a
We've
speak.
already got a
Speak.
sing.
We've already got music.
Yeah. If the musical happens, well, maybe old-timey singing will be incorporated for you, Serenity. We shall see. Speak in an old-timey accent. I just became, like, just southern there. I don't know. Is that old-timey enough?
I mean,
You know,
Nah.
just to say.
the South, the past. That's how it works.
The South, the past, the present, both, really? Still here,
Television
but never
on YouTube
forgotten.
asks, are they shifting only horizontal or also vertically? I feel like some go
Ooh.
one way, some go the other, you know?
That's a good
That is a
question.
really good question. I love that.
Mhm.
So both. Both were saying.
Both were saying.
Okay.
Now, we've got another question about our city.
I love it.
Yeah, it's what overcomes the city? What's a challenge that it faces? So why don't we all pull a card again? We'll see what we got.
I mean, this could be the Elder Gods.
We've got a 6. We've got a 2. One more card. Somebody hasn't drawn one yet.
And a 9 of spades.
Okay.
Could be.
Our options.
Yeah, please.
What's that?
Please.
Yeah? Okay. Our options are stillness, oblivion, or cunning or trickery.
Now, if that's too abstract, we've got some suggestions what that might look like.
Okay.
Stillness could mean nothing moves in the city anymore. Its machines have stopped. Laws are not voted. Maybe the inhabitants themselves are literally frozen in place. Who's moving in this stopped town? Where to find the sacred word breathing movement in again? Why are the wheels of the errant city jammed? There's, we said, cunning or trickery. Maybe no one in the city's telling the truth. Maybe the town itself is nothing but a series of fake buildings and empty constructions. Maybe we need to know how to administer a truth serum to the city. And what was the last category?
Oblivion.
Oblivion.
Ooh.
The
I'm excited
inhabitants
about
of the
that.
city, nothing but empty shells since their memories were stolen. Maybe the town itself has been erased from minds and maps, or is the product of a brain slowly failing. What do we think? A lot of big ideas.
I feel like I know where I want this to go.
Okay. Tell us.
Oblivion, I think.
Do you have a specific vision of what oblivion means? I've got something rattling, but I want to hear what you're thinking.
I think oblivion is like it's completely. I'm thinking of it as like a place that's completely devoid of something.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Devoid of love? Devoid of hope?
Maybe.
Both so dark, both so dark.
I was wondering if maybe oblivion makes me think of memories somehow, like it's about forgetting. I was wondering if either when you're in the city you forget everything outside of it, or vice versa. Those who leave can't
Forget
remember
the city
anymore. Yeah.
Ooh. What if everybody's missing a different piece of their past? And part of your time in the city is trying
I
to
like
get
that a lot. So we're devoid of a part of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
Do they have a name for it?
The city?
No, the missing part of your past. If it's a common enough thing.
Tully says like an
your missing
ignorant
piece?
bliss. Yes, like an ignorant bliss. But maybe not. It could be something crucial. It could be something you need to know. I don't know.
It's true.
It's reminding me of Memento in a good way.
I should say sorcery. Do love the Elder Scrolls reference. Elder Scroll fan way back. Tap tap peace sign. As far as what they call it, I'm feeling like they might call it the lack.
The lack?
The lack.
Yeah. Or,
okay. Yeah, I could like that.
The blank.
The blank space.
Could be the blank space. Maybe we're pulling it in. Maybe this. I think all of these are terms that are used.
Okay, yeah, let's let there be a combination.
Oh, I have another idea for the wheel. Could we make it something like tell us something about our past? Obviously, we have the right to like X anything that we, as the players, that we feel is we're not comfortable with. So within our own boundaries,
out there. Why not?
Are important.
Haha, you guys have to be creative if you spice the description.
So, yeah.
I thought you were just supporting Amanda financially, but also you have to work.
That's
All
the fun.
Declined, I'm sure.
Like you pick a character, and you get to put something in their past for them. Give them
or the city in this case. You can also choose the city.
Yeah, that could also be interesting. The city's basically like a character, it seems.
Yes, in a sense, that's true. Now I'm going to scroll way, way back to our city creation section. Because I think we have
two more spots on this wheel, by the way. So if anyone has any
only
thoughts,
two.
yeah.
Hey, that's pretty good.
We've been doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to be spending most of the stream figuring out what was on that thing.
No, we're doing pretty good so far.
I think we have to invent a rumor about the city. Is that true, Kurt?
Yes. Travelers will invent rumors about the city. Interesting.
Wait, we haven't decided on our roles yet, though.
That's right. So, folks, now it's time Here's the rub. In a traditional context, if we're coming at it from like a what's a big role-playing game, like a Pathfinder or a Fate sort of context, or like a Call of
Rick doesn't know
Cthulhu.
about Dungeons and Dragons, and don't tell him.
About what? Anyway, there's generally one person who's going to be framing scenes and describing things from NPCs' perspectives, describing the city itself. They're called the city. But there can be, in this game, one or more of those people. And then the other one or two people will be travelers who are passing through the city.
Cool.
So
in our case, I'm assuming two of us. Well, I guess only one of us could be a traveler. Two of us want to be the city. Is that?
yes,
Okay.
that's exactly what I mean. We have that flexibility.
Great.
So
Well, as
we're
long as we don't
back
all
as
choose the
city.
same thing, we're great.
Yes, that is the trouble. We can't all be city. We can't all be traveler. I mean, we probably could, but let's not break
We
the
won't-
game.
we haven't
We're gonna
played it
break
before.
the city. Oh, I should say some things about the creator of this game, actually.
Dude, that's one of my favorite parts of the stream.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to play this game today because for two reasons. One, we almost played a game by this creator just 2 weeks ago, a week and a half
Oh.
even.
Oh.
The
this is
designer
one
of
with the
this
map.
game is CAMEO, who is a French designer who also designed a game called Meanwhile in the Subway. Folks who looked at the thumbnail before they clicked may have seen me looking at this, but it's a big, wild map. CAMEO is clearly fascinated by reimaginings of urban spaces, and also we have an interesting sort of orbit as well, because both CAMEO and myself designed a game where you're flashing back and forward sort of between two eras in characters' lives. If you want to check that one out, CAMEO's game is called Two Summers, and mine is Here We Used to Fly. But that's
Cool.
neither here nor there. Today we're playing Broken City, which I'm very excited to do.
It looks so cool.
Oh, I just remembered something.
What?
Oh, I just remembered something perfect.
What?
What'd you
Both
remember?
of you decide what role you want to be, and I'm going to bring back a special treat straight from CAMEO.
Whoa, I
Special
think he's got
treat.
cupcakes.
That's great. I hope you brought enough for the whole class.
Okay, Amanda. Do you know what you want to be? Can you decide?
I don't know. I think I want to be a traveler today. I think I'm in a
Yeah?
traveling mood.
A traveling mood.
I'm in a traveling mood.
I think that's convenient. I think I'm leaning city, but there's an embarrassment of riches. So all the roles seem really good.
I mean, yeah, I don't think there's a wrong pick in this game, feels like.
Yeah. Oh, Kurt brought
Can you
us a
imagine if there
present.
I did bring you a
He
present.
got back from his work trip. What'd you get us?
Well, you see. When this game was mailed to me, it included a single card, a playing card,
Ooh.
the Queen of
Ooh,
Diamonds.
The Queen of Diamonds.
And it was slipped in very cheekily into this page, 2 little incisions, and when I removed the card, there was a message.
What?
It reads as follows.
Underneath?
Underneath, yeah, written on the page itself, which was blocked by the card, cleverly kept there. It reads, for Kurt, a bar which serves only one type of alcohol, not particularly refined or expensive, but sought after by those who want to forget everything as fast as possible. And doesn't that seem appropriate for the themes we've
Whoa.
stepped
It fits so nicely.
We didn't plan that. Except for the
Not
fact that the
at
whole
all.
stream is scripted.
Yeah,
Right.
Other
But-
than that, yeah. So we'll use that. That might be the first place we go.
That's really cool.
That's very
Thank you
cool.
so much.
Did either of you make a decision?
We both have, but we won't tell you. First, you have to tell us what you want.
Also, I'm so sorry. I totally missed Damost tail. Wait, oh, are my alerts not on?
Did we miss a sub?
We missed a couple subs on YouTube, so no spins of the wheels yet.
Right.
Haha.
But
Ha ha ha.
ha, ha,
Can
ha.
people get memberships on YouTube? or whatever?
Yes, they can get memberships on YouTube or subs on Twitch. Oh, there's
And
my
both get
alert bar.
spins.
Oh, it is on. Oh, it's weird that it's not playing. I guess it's not playing YouTube subs. So, well, very well.
Very well then. Keep your secrets.
Oh wait, there we go. Wait, now it should do it.
So-
Hey.
Never know for sure.
And also Demos Taylor and also Paul DeVargas. Is it gonna go? Oh, there it is. Thank you so much for subscribing over on YouTube. Success.
I don't like that it
Appreciate it,
smacks
thank
me in particular, Amanda.
Yeah.
It seems,
Oh, yeah. Oh!
ah!
Accidentally
I can't get the
hit it.
timing right. 'Cause, like, it's delayed.
Yeah,
It's
we
a
can
really
put it
delay.
anywhere.
Actually,
Should
that
it-
lined up pretty well, I want to say.
Did it?
It could
Didn't line up
go
too
in the
bad.
corner of Kurt's
Oh,
stream,
that
so
one
if
works
someone does
too.
it, he can punch to the side. Like if you punch to your left side, is that right? Yeah, I think.
Who's
Your
to say?
your left side, Kurt. Try it.
My left side. My left side? That's my left side.
There you go.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your right side or your left side?
That's my left side. Oh,
okay,
I see.
yeah.
And
See, I
you've
did
done
it.
Wow, there you
Boom.
go. High Talos wind.
We won't be able to time that, but if we do, then that will be impressive.
Can you tell us in chat when you're about to subscribe? Because we need some time to figure this out.
Well, anyways,
Okay,
thank you
okay,
so
okay.
much for coming in.
New to Vero too. Thanks for the shout. Amanda makes a lot of great content, and I'm sure you do too. So stick around. She'll do more.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay, we're on rolls.
We are
Amanda
on
was
rolls.
thinking traveler. I was thinking city. Both of us are open to many possibilities. What are you thinking, Kurt?
Oh, okay. So let's lock those in now, and then it's gonna be a big shift depending on whether it's Anthony and Kurt team up to be the world again, or if it's
Mhm.
Kurt is something analogous to a player, which is unusual and strange.
I kind of want you to do that, but
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'll be a traveler.
traveler.
I'll do it. But if you need to pull me in for any NPCs, Anthony, please let me know and I will help
Of
out.
course.
So now we must create the travelers.
Ooh.
That's right. So each traveler is going to have a name.
Jack
nope.
Muad'Dib just subscribed with Prime.
Oh my.
Oh
Sounds like
my.
a spin.
Lisa Nagaib.
We still don't have these two spaces, but we'll see what we get.
We land on them. We'll
This is
spin
exciting.
again.
This is exciting.
Yeah, if we land on those, we'll
My
spin
first
again.
spin.
Oh, I got a gift to sub.
Wow.
I don't know. I need a better spot for this, by the way, because it's like not very visible, you know?
Yeah, it needs to be like where your face is.
Yeah, like right here.
just hold
Is
it
that what
right here.
Yeah,
Oh
perfect.
wow,
Oh wow.
the wheel in a fur coat.
Yeah. It's just what I wanted to see on this stream. A wheel
Grandma
and a
used to
fur
look
coat.
just like that.
All right, I'm gonna gift a sub. Thank you so much, Jack, for the sub with Prime. Appreciate you. You the best. Welcome on into the Fang Gang, my friend. Thanks for using your Prime on lil me. Welcome
Lil
on into
she.
the Fang Gang.
Are you gifting right away, or does
I'm
there?
doing
Is
it right
there?
now.
Wow, that means we get to roll the wheel again.
Is that how it works, Amanda? Do we have to roll again now that you bought a sub?
No. No,
Okay,
Oh.
that doesn't-
that's fair. That would have been all.
Nice try trying to get those infinite Amanda gifts the subs.
Infinite subs.
Infinite subs. Welcome on into the Fang Gang, very naked.
I'm gonna draw a card. See what my traveler looks like.
Please.
All right.
I drew a 10, and a 10 says I have a dagger in my boot, which is a family heirloom.
Wow.
Ooh.
Okay. That
Fine,
sounds
I'll
sick.
keep it. I've got a dagger in my boot. I'll be lower traveler
Oh,
because I have to change lower travelers. Okay, for those of you who may not be familiar with my work, I make a spreadsheet every time we play a game because I
like
think
almost every time, guys.
Also,
A brand new spreadsheet for the game, and sometimes it has like rules text in it and fancy automations. It's crazy.
Serenity, thank you so much for gifting a sub and also paying the gift forward since you were gifted from Chris. I love to see that
Aw.
in the stream. Welcome on in, Saint Walker 23 to the Fang Gang. And that means
Does
we're
that
gonna
make you spin the wheel?
Yeah, that's I gotta spin
Surely
the
that
wheel for
does.
that, yeah.
Serenity, good plan on the telekinesis. I feel like that would be the ideal play, but Amanda hasn't been practicing her mind flexes recently.
You got the blank space, Serenity, so you get to make up a wheel spin.
You got the blank
A
space?
permanent one for the entire stream that will stay here.
Oh my gosh.
And
Be
may
careful,
stay beyond,
Serenity.
depending on what
I trust Serenity. Serenity, to me, seems trustworthy.
Serenity's got good vibes in chat, I'll say.
Sorcery, you get it. We're all about macros in this game. And I don't mean getting my protein in, my prote, if you will. I mean
No one
that's
says that.
sweet code. Never, no, we all say that. We all say that. No one's not said that.
I like Serenity rejoicing in their newfound power.
Yes.
As you should, as you should.
What will you use it for?
Yeah, let us know when you have something, but also
Yeah, we'll keep
no
our
rush.
eyes out.
I'm gonna move actually blank space to a new one since we still have some blank spaces right now, so maybe people will have
Yeah, that's sensible.
a rule that they want. But this blank space will be used, Serenity. I'm saving it for you.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now, in the
Amazing.
interim, Amanda, you do have more randomization in your life because you
I
must
know.
draw a card.
I know.
Draw a
I'm so
card.
excited.
Hydrate, everybody.
Hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate, amusing streamer.
We appreciate it. That's the only time
Cheers.
I drink water, once a week on Monday evenings.
That's why we have to stream more often, because Kurt's dying.
Yeah. You remember how last week we did it twice? That's because on Friday I had to be put in the hospital, and they were like, well, it's an IV or you start drinking water. And I was like, I've got a plan.
I think he's using it as leverage to make us stream with him more.
I'm dying.
I'm dying, guys!
Dying to play a game and a thirst.
Jack
What'd you draw?
Muad'Dib is suggesting that I make one of the spaces Subber's choice, where I guess they would pick anything that's on the wheel that they want. I would kind of be down for that. I'm a little nervous about the gift of sub being on the wheel. But I don't think you guys would be mean to me and make me pay a bunch. So I would trust you guys to do a Subber's choice. That's a good suggestion. Maybe we'll add
I'll
that.
gift the next sub.
You don't have to gift. It's okay. But
Draw
thank
a
you.
card,
Anthony.
Traveler.
I
Who are
did. I
you?
did. I drew one, and it's a jack
Serenity.
of what is this? A jack of clubs? Clubs. I think.
Serenity, that's an ace choice. I can
Ace.
actually do the Charleston, so
An old timey
Well, that's cute.
jig.
an old-timey jig.
Oh, okay.
Incredible.
Yeah, I know how to do the. I think the only thing I know how to do is the Charleston.
You know how to do the Charleston?
Y'all know how to do
Never
the Charleston?
Charlestons together?
Yeah.
Amanda.
How have we not
Guys.
done that?
Why has nobody taught me how to do the Charleston?
I did a seminar before my wedding. You were in.
I was there!
I didn't cover the Charleston, though. You're right. That would have taken the entire time.
An old timey jig. Bonus points for if we can do a jitterbug, apparently, which I don't think I can.
It's gonna
Is that
be
the one where you
Charleston,
move
sorry.
your hands or over your knees? Or no? Maybe not.
I don't know.
I feel like
I don't know
flossing's
anything.
pretty out of date now, so that could be an old time.
An old-timey jig.
Back when I was young, this was the move everyone.
The
was doing.
Superman.
Yeah.
Harlem Shake.
Watch me, you.
Gangnam Style.
Sorry, what did Amanda draw? A jack?
I
Jack.
drew a jack of clubs.
So you could have kowtowed by years of hard work, or perhaps you wish to explore a second option.
I'll
If you're not familiar with the word
explore
kowtowed, that's
Out.
it's sort of like
Like-
bent.
Yeah, like I'm kind of old, is what I'm thinking.
I'm just worn
broken.
down by life. Yeah.
I want a
At least
second
mentally.
option. So do I draw another card?
Draw another
it.
card. Draw.
Let's see what
Draw
else we
another
got.
card. Draw another card.
2 of diamonds.
Ooh, seems a lot younger than they actually are.
Oh, we've got an anime character situation with this one.
Do you like that one, Amanda? Does that speak to you?
Sorry, say it one more time.
Seems a lot younger than they actually are.
Oh. These are 2 very different vibes. Seems a lot younger than they actually are.
Do you want one more?
Uh.
Last time we did 3 when we weren't sure.
Okay, yeah, one more.
One more.
7 of clubs.
Large hands that they don't seem to know how to use.
Yes, that's what I want.
That's the one.
That's the one.
You know, as soon as I read it, I was
I
like,
feel
this
like
is
that's
this
gonna
is
be the one for Amanda.
So exceptionally Amanda coded.
Amazing. Large hands they don't quite know how to use. Sounds just like me.
Burp, burp, burp. Nice. I think you guys have to randomize more, right?
Yeah, that's right. So the next thing that we're being asked is our personality. And I'll do a draw for that. I've got a 6. A 6 is opportunistic and not sorry about it. That makes sense for my dagger wielder.
So I'm thinking instead of Subber's Choice, although I do like that suggestion, and I might use that one. Actually, I'm going to put that one in the Discord so that I remember that for the future, because that's a good wheel suggestion. So thank you for that. I was thinking, what do you guys think about, like, create a dilemma or, like, a conflict in a scene?
Yeah, sure.
You guys like that?
Throw a wrench.
Yeah.
I love a good wrench. Not like Kurt has a giant
Kurt's
toolbox.
really handy.
Yeah.
He's always building stuff.
He loves himself
Maurice
a ranch.
and Meredith.
Tully, your grandma taught you how to do the Charleston? There are so many Charleston doers with us today.
I
That's
know.
amazing.
Nice. We got to turn this into a Charleston stream. Pronto.
You know, should be.
All right, so the wheel is complete. We have one more blank space that people could get. I drew a wrench. I tried to draw a wrench on my dilemma. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's my amazing art skills.
Nice. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Good work, Amanda. Now you get to
thanks.
draw a card.
Okay. And I'm also going to send that to myself after. Also, I don't know if y'all are in the Discord, but I have a little area in there in my Twitch if you guys have wheel suggestions in general.
Ooh.
The Subber's Choice.
Over Discord plug.
Yes, I will put that in the chat in a second for you guys. Apparently, if we get one more boost, we can have a custom invite link. So, like, it'll say, like, we can pick whatever we want it to say, like
discord.gg/fanggang, for
yeah,
instance.
like Fang.
Oh,
like,
sick.
get bit or something.
You love to see it. Okay.
I got a king.
If it was 1995, that would be the choice for
Super
sure.
cool.
For sure.
For sure.
I got the king of clubs.
Okay.
I keep
our suggestion
confusing
there is,
clubs and spades. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a day.
I'm so bad at clubs and spades.
Oh my gosh.
Incredibly boastful. with
Ooh,
your
incredibly
giant hands.
boastful.
You can draw another if you like.
Big hands, big
No,
head.
I like incredibly boastful. Incredibly boastful with big hands that I'm not sure how to use.
This is great.
Sounds like a great character to me.
Great. Excellent. The next thing that we're going to do is our travelers each have some
Oh, I was so
common
ready to do my
quest.
name.
This is-
Common quest.
Yeah, it's not
Together.
one
Oh.
per.
Okay.
This is
Something to
something
share.
that we are doing
Together. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to draw a card?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I'll draw a cat.
Also, Tully is saying that they would also binge watch Golden Girls. This is just getting better and better. You're learning how to Charleston.
So grandma core.
This is
Yeah,
like fantastic.
We'd love to see it.
I only
actually-
started. Oh, you go ahead, Kurt. What were you
I
gonna
was just
say?
gonna say I designed the first role-playing game I ever designed, never released. Is about pleasing your grandmother, not like that, in a way that your grandmother has expectations for you, and you don't align with them.
Right.
You're not a good Christian grandchild. So the GM in that
Dang.
game is the grandmother.
Oh
Right,
my
my
gosh. I was
It's
gonna
gonna be a
say
great
that.
Patreon reward someday.
Yes, I love it. I was gonna say that I didn't get to Golden Girls until like during the pandemic. That was my Golden Girls like
Oh, really?
era. Yeah, I hadn't watched it. I knew about it, like I'd seen clips, but then during the pandemic, I went on like a Golden Girls like binge, and I became obsessed with the Golden Girls. Anyways, I now own also, if you guys ever want to watch me play on stream, I have the Funko game where you basically like use your Funkos as like little fighters, and I have all of the Golden Girls, and you can make them like fight each other.
That's all I want. When I watch the Golden Girls, I'm like, I can't say that sentence after what I
Oh,
said
were
earlier.
you?
There's not enough action in this show.
There's not enough action in this show.
We found out a lot about Kurt that night.
All right, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Did you draw a card?
Yeah.
What'd you draw?
I just drew an 8. The 8 says...
Of?
Oh, shoot, it does matter.
It matters for the first time.
It's going to start raining men. I drew an 8 of hearts, which is convincing someone who took refuge in the city to leave it.
Ooh, spicy.
I'm happy with that. That's kind of wild.
I like it. I think it works with this whole, like, people are forgetting stuff, you know?
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
like,
it seems good.
They've retreated here, but this isn't where they should be.
Like, they need to wake up, and we're trying to, like, get them free.
Maybe that's who we are. We're like, oh, can we be like... I'm trying to think of like a buddy kind of scenario, like we're deployed on the same purpose here.
Like we're on a mission, like we're like the Men in Black. Is that what you're thinking? But in the 1930s, yeah. I feel you. We can be like some sort of part of some sort of agency that's like not really like we're like above or like around even the government.
Yeah, I feel you.
We exist in our own like little pocket.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Cool.
In fact, the text of the game suggests that maybe there's like some weird investigations into this place because it's like quasi-mythical and surrounded in a lot of mystery. So this makes a great deal of sense to me specifically.
Daniel, thank you for the hydrate. Ooh, and a stretch. Thank you.
I like how you guys machine gun the channel rewards. Always do them all at once. So much health! Ah!
Ooh, and a posture check. Ooh, thank you.
That always gets me. I can't be in the right posture. It's
impossible.
Hello, Ken. Welcome on in. Thank you for being here. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. Hello.
It's true. Daniel, I'm glad that you dropped by at all. So hope you have a good tournament of basketball. Women's basketball?
Yeah.
Not sure what the context on that is, but I hope it's good. Oh, I see you watch them. That makes sense.
Yes. Have a good one, Daniel. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us for a bit. And we'll catch you later in the VOD, my friend.
So I think both of y'all have secondary goals. Is that true?
Yes, we've got our own special private little goal, which is just something that we're interested in doing while we're here. We're not going to doggedly pursue this, but it gives us our own motivation.
Okay.
You guys want to both draw a card?
Yeah.
See what they are?
Yeah.
I'm proving the existence of something or someone. That's fun.
That's kind of cool.
I got the 4 of diamonds. I could also just be looking at this book, couldn't I? With you guys.
Yeah, but that one is gathering a collection, in case you're interested.
Okay, gathering a collection. Ooh.
Collecting something.
Okay.
Incredibly boastful big hand with a collection of some sort. Involved in Task Force X.
So where do I put this? So we're trying to get someone out of the city.
Yeah, I can paste that in yours.
Okay, yeah. And then if I have the chance, I'd like to collect things.
Yeah, you might have like a collection on the side, something you're looking for.
Right.
See something in a shop window,
I
perhaps?
think I collect spoons.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. They're easier to find than Grogu's. Shout out to people who were here last week.
I did have my collection of Grogu's, which are still all around me. I've been slowly moving my Grogu's from my work desk in the office to my home desk, and now I have this. It's a fantastic little layout. I'm very pleased with it.
Talos, I'm with you on the card play systems. They're always interesting. They're always weird. My first real return to RPG like moment was with a card-based game, actually designed by the people who made Apocalypse World. So if you know Murderous Ghosts, drop a ghosty in the chat. It's a great game.
I love me some Murderous Ghosts.
Right. Amanda, you might want to toggle the old camera. She's a frozen.
Oh, again? Oh my god.
Yeah, she loves to do it.
Oh,
we're back. We're back.
Very good. Closer than ever.
And closer.
Sorry, guys.
Lead
Let me
on
see.
in, folks.
I'll stop it. I'll start it. It should reset. Here we are. I don't know why. Sometimes my camera has days where it goes off the rails, and today it's acting up. There it goes again. Look at it go.
There should be a spot on the wheel as close mode, and we all go into zoomed in mode.
I like that.
I don't think we're technically proficient enough to pull that off.
There's a way you could do that.
I can make my camera blink, but that's about all I can do.
I would probably have to do it in my end. But I have an idea for how we could do that if we wanted to. I'm going to add it to the list in the Discord. Oh, I forgot to plug the Discord. Also, DiCarlo, hello.
There's one more thing that we have as a traveler, which is a little glimpse of our past.
Ah.
We don't have to define them in details. I'll draw a card for me.
Do it.
9 of hearts. The 9 says, a recollection of a sentence often heard in the traveler's childhood. Ah, so there's something I often heard. I'll just say, I often think about a sentence I heard regularly in childhood. And we'll figure it out later what that means.
Yeah, we'll come on to that. Do you have a sense of what it is you're trying to prove the existence of from your previous prompt?
Or
are we going to find that out too? We can.
No, I can jump into that a little bit more. I'm trying to prove the existence of, I think that there's like an engine at the heart of the city that makes all the platforms move. I think it's
cool.
there.
Cool. I like that. I was wondering if it was going to be the city itself, but that's good.
But I feel like as soon as we get there, we're like, oh,
nice. Done. That was easy. Do we want to find out what you're thinking about, Amanda?
What I'm thinking about?
In the game, but also I'm always curious what you're thinking about in real life, friend.
It's always surprising.
Yes. I will. Let me pull a card here. I'm thinking about the Jack of Hearts.
I'm always thinking about the Jack of Hearts.
Something related to your education.
A recollection about your education.
Right.
Open-ended.
I think
does that trigger anything?
Yeah, I think I always think about how in chemistry, do people take chemistry in the 1930s?
Sure.
Is that a class?
Yeah.
All right.
I think there's early chemistry happening for sure.
That I only got a B-, and I think that haunts me because I
Did
really...
you? I like when Kurt does the Amanda just says something crazy face.
It's not my problem. I'm not the city this game. You're gonna have to pull that in.
You deal with that. Is it because you thought you were going to be amazing at chemistry? Was your, mom great at chemistry, or?
Right. Why does it haunt me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that I think that
Was there something you wanted to be?
Well, I think it was that every other test I got like at least an A. It was my one test where I got a B-.
This is like
in high school
the only thing you ever didn't do well on.
Yeah.
Interesting. Incredibly boastful.
I'm incredibly boastful, and it really bothers me.
Except for chemistry.
That I got that B-. I was like, if it had been a B+, I could have. It wouldn't have haunted me, but it was the minus that really got me. I've never gotten a minus, and just feels bad. Some people will say it could be worse, could be a C-. But no, I don't think that would.
B-?
I don't think it would matter for me.
Okay, great. We've got one more thing to do for the city, actually, don't we, Kurt?
Look at you, knowing what's going on, and we didn't even ask you to. You just knew.
Just could feel it.
I love how everyone has ideas about like what that really means in the greater scheme of this character. Riddle Lock is like those clumsy hands mess with the equipment. Tully's saying it was it your villain origin story?
Maybe that's why your hands are so big.
It's the reason my camera keeps freezing. That's what's... Oh, I'm back. Hello.
Hello.
All right.
DiCarlo drops a very strange anecdote in the chat My high school chem teacher gave me and my friend an extra 5 points on tests for being Italian.
Whoa. I. Why? What? I feel like you
Oh,
need
they
to
were
follow
also
that up.
Italian?
Maybe because they were also Italian. It's like, it's like, come on. We got to help each other out. 5 points.
Reparations for all the Italian-focused racism back in the day.
Yeah, there was a lot of that back in the day.
And we would know this story's set back in the day.
Back in the
In
day.
the day. That's the day.
Yeah, he was Italian.
the
There
day.
you go. There you go. See?
We figured it out.
Reparations.
Amanda, you and I both need to come up with a rumor about the city.
Right.
I like the part of the text that talks about this because it says, after all, the place the travelers will enter is a wonderful one. They must have heard something about it before they started their journey. I like that.
That is nice. Digging that vibe.
I heard that the windows are all made of gold.
Ooh.
So they're really pretty, but no one can see through them.
That's fine.
I like that. The windows are made of gold. What else has it said that, Kurt? What have you heard?
I heard that once in a blue moon, the whole city, all the platforms go lower and lower and lower until the entire thing's underneath sea level.
Ooh.
This is Atlantis.
Ooh.
Love it. Once in a blue moon, the platforms drop beneath sea level. Fascinating. I kind of like this city, guys. I'm
That's
very
good,
excited to
'cause
explore it.
You.
Because it you.
It
It me now. Do you want to tell us a bit about how to play this game, or do we
Yeah,
have other
in
things
fact,
to set up?
DiCarlo, what wonderful timing you have asking what this game's all about.
Oof.
Because it's time for me to say how this works. So now that we have established a few things about our characters, established a few baselines about the city itself, we're going to learn a little bit more about how the gameplay works. There are two things that there's sort of a running series of things that will happen in this game. And the first thing that always happens is the city will play a card from their hand. So Anthony is going to have a hand of 4 cards, count them, 4 cards, and
Okay.
every turn, every round, every scene, really, Anthony plays one, and that becomes the focus of the scene, the person or place on which the scene will linger within this city. Once that scene is established, Amanda and I, as travelers, will sort of react to this focal point. We'll embody our characters, things will happen, and at some point during the scene, perhaps, a traveler will try and do something which the city feels can't just happen. It needs a price. The city will propose some kind of price, and it could be something small, like maybe we forget something of our own, or it could be something larger. And this is entirely narrative. We get to choose what we feel the character will give up. And the character, the traveler, gets to accept or refuse the compromise. And if the compromise is accepted, the traveler player gets to draw a card. More on that in a second. If the traveler player refuses it, then what they're trying to do doesn't happen. So this is a game where we must accept some kind of consequence of sorts, not necessarily directly related to what's happening, in order for the scene to be resolved, the challenge to be resolved. And that will only happen once per scene, not per traveler, just full stop. There can only be a maximum of 1 conflict requiring a sacrifice of some sort. So, every time the city plays a card, they will place it beside one of the existing cards they've already played on the table, building out a kind of physical embodiment of the city.
Cool.
Now, you folks can't see this, but Anthony and Amanda and myself have an imaginary table that we can see, which we will be putting cards onto. And the
Imaginary table.
Yeah.
It also exists somewhere, I suppose.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on our imaginations, is all I'm saying.
That's
We're not
fair.
psychic yet.
Oh, that's
It is in
underneath.
real
Hold
life as
on. Wow. Sorry, don't mind me. I'm just. No, why is it going so far?
We also like playing indie RPGs, Talos.
Yes.
That's what I'm all about. I was joking just today that if the designer's not excited that someone played their game, I haven't gone indie enough.
This is what our table looks like if you guys want to see it. Oh, sorry, I have a. Hold on a second here. Gotta get rid of this
that's
filter.
True. Right now, just got a big old empty table with a deck of cards ready to go, just like we would have if we were playing this game in real life.
There you go.
Mhm.
And DiCarlo, you mentioned an Oregon Trail night. I'm just gonna, for a moment, say, keep your eyes open in the next like week or so. There is an incredible like hour-and-a-half documentary on the making of the Oregon Trail that one of my favorite YouTubers is making, the gaming historian. Keep your eyes out for that. It is an incredible piece. I've already seen it because I'm in the know. Check it out.
I don't know if well, I mean, I think I could share the table, but I think if I share the table, I don't know if we can share the table so that people are viewer only. I'm sure none of y'all would mess with our cards, but I just don't want someone comes in and they're like, "Oh, can I see the table?" And then all of a sudden, chaos.
I think the best thing to do is we will occasionally give you folks glimpses of the city as it's growing, because it's just a few cards on a table.
Yeah.
It's not that exciting.
Like, it's not going to look, even we won't be looking at it most of the time.
Yeah.
Yes. But I can definitely show it to you guys as it grows. I will occasionally snap back. And if anyone is like, what does the table look like? Just put it in chat and I'll show you guys.
That's one of the wheel options. Show the table.
Show the table.
What a cheap wheel option.
You could make it a wheel option if you want with that blank space. If you spin this wheel and you get the last blank space there. I hope we get to do a jig. If we don't get to do a jig by the end of the stream, I think we should do one anyways.
Okay, that'll be our closing.
Yeah.
That's a deal. I'll bring us home with the little description of how this works here.
Thank you, Karen.
Anthony, you've got some bonus problems. If you play a card, it's got to be beside a card with the same suit or value.
Or number.
And
if I don't have that card in my hand?
Then you can't do that. There's an answer. I'm going to have to control.
I'll look it up. You keep going.
Each time you play a card, there's a specific prompt for what this thing is. Now, you may either, Anthony may either have a general category that they draw from. For example, hearts are always wonderful things. Spades are always damaged things.
Oh.
Cool.
Or Anthony may go down the little table list of more specific ideas that correspond to the specific value that Anthony has played. For example, Jack of Hearts is a hidden treasure.
Ooh.
Cool.
Finally, let's bring this home so that we are done here. If at some point our character doesn't like the deal that they're offered and don't want to outright refuse it, we also have a card in our hand, Amanda and I. And we can, if we can match the suit or the value, replace the card that is currently in play and shift the whole city in front of us. To kind
so
of
we hold that card in our hand, and then if there's a moment...
We will both have a single card in our hand, and we will only draw a card if we accept a sacrifice that the city offers for us.
Okay.
When does the game end? The game will end when either we accomplish our shared goal as travelers, or the city accomplishes its thing. Which is what it needs us travelers to do. In this case, we've said everyone's missing a piece of their past. If that gets resolved, then the game ends. And if we convince that person who took refuge in the city to leave it, the game will also end.
Okay.
Cool.
Those are the two options.
Got you.
And that is the whole game.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Great.
That's our game.
I'm excited.
Pretty exciting.
Very exciting.
Oh, you know what I don't have?
What?
A name.
Give yourself
do you have a name,
Oh,
Amanda?
yeah, I do. I already thought of a name, but I just have to write it down. Also, I like how Serenity is saying that our accents are very nice and exotic. So exotic.
That's how I'm referred to.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, so I'm the voice of an obscure language learning app because I did some weird, very boring voice acting years back, and I had to change a few of my pronunciations that were considered
Too Canadian?
too regional, let's say.
Yeah. What were they? What were your pronunciations that were too regional?
One of them was explorer.
Oh.
I wasn't to say explorer. I was to say like
Explorer
rather than explorer.
Yeah, explorer.
Explorer.
Yeah.
And there were a good handful of them. I can pull them up, but
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people tell me that I have an accent, but usually I only get people that tell me that after I have established I'm Canadian. And then people say, "Oh, yes, I hear it." A boot is one that I get a lot, but I never hear that one. I mean, we do liquidate our U's. So where you would probably say about, like you just say it like very short. And if you're, well, Americans would say, I shouldn't assume Serenity where you're from. But that's more of, I find what people say, they just get it like about, like it's just kind of thrown away. Whereas we say about, ow. And that's the U. Comes from the British, I think. But also, I feel like my dialect is all over the place. So take that. Do with that what you will. Tully says, I'm from New York City, so I understand how accents, so I know how accents stand out. See, and that's funny, Tully, because I've also had people guess that I'm from New York, and I've had people guess that I'm from California as well. So those are the ones that I get as well.
There you go.
I used to get that I had a vaguely British accent. I think I just had too good enunciation as a child.
I feel like you just enunciate really well. Yeah.
Is that still true?
Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten much lazier. Oh,
I mean, I don't think that you sound British, but I could hear it just in the maybe just the way you enunciate, because you speak very like crisply, is what I would say.
Children don't understand how British sound.
No, you sound weird. You British.
Are you British?
That must be what that means.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, I'm excited.
Okay.
My brain's a little like overflowing with knowledge about the game, but I'm excited.
That is fair. There's a lot to work with for sure, but I'm sure we'll do it. Oh, after every scene, we're gonna check boxes if we feel we've gotten closer to any of the goals. That's how this is. That's how this will move towards its ending.
Sounds good. Okay. Are you guys ready? Does anybody need a bio break or anything before we kick off?
I'm ready. I will say I love that everyone is sharing their lovely like dialect. I'm like trying to picture everybody's voices now that everyone's sharing all their little like histories of where they've been, and that's very amazing. So thank you. Everyone keep sharing your dialects with me. I'm also learning a lot. I didn't know that that is what South Florida dialects sounded like, Serenity. So now I'm able to like paint a picture in my mind, in my ear mind of what that sounds like. It's so interesting too, because I feel like when I go to places, like I'll just go, you know, whatever, to a random state or something, and I won't even notice that there's like, I really have to focus in sometimes before I notice that there's a distinct dialect. But there's dialects everywhere, so. West Coast Canada have a dialect? Yeah, I think they do. I think they do.
They're
tell us.
considered accents. The only dialect of English I think that isn't quite English is Scots. And I don't mean a Scottish accent.
We never called them accents in my dialect class.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. We always call them dialect. In acting, it's not like an accent, it's a dialect. Because it's always regional. And everybody, the idea that we learned is that technically every single person has a dialect that's very unique to what their experiences are. So even within a region, you can have two people that sound very different because they may have traveled or been other places, or people in their family. All of these things shape it. So when you're building a character, it's not just about where the character's from, it's also about the character's like history. But I don't know. I don't know what the technical definition is. This is just acting class, so I don't know what their, you know, what their credits are for dialect. Where did they go to school and study this?
Anthony's ready. Look at those hands.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Okay. I just want to hear from you guys as you're coming into the city.
Oh, should we also maybe say who we are? We come in on the
Oh,
train,
yeah.
by the way, if that's cool with
Okay.
you.
Great.
Yeah, we should introduce our characters, Amanda. It's been a minute.
Right. Our characters. My name is Bernice Boot. I have large hands that I don't know how to use. I am incredibly boastful. We're coming to the city to convince someone who took refuge in the city to leave it. If I have the chance, I'd like to collect some spoons. I often think about the recollection of my education, specifically my high school chemistry class, where I got a B- once, and it haunts me to this day.
What are you wearing?
I am wearing a very tiny hat with like a little veil on it.
Ooh.
Okay, I love that.
And I am wearing a button-up like suit jacket that's a little too small for me.
Love it.
And a sort of loose skirt.
Flowy.
Yeah, it's very flowy.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Kurt, who will you be playing in our drama this evening?
My name's Grant Lillencolly. I've been on this gig for a while, but it's time to finally go to the Broken City. I've been waiting, and I'm ready. I've got a dagger in my boot. And you could call me opportunistic, but I'm not sorry about it. I'm here to work for the agency, but I'm also here to find the answers I'm looking for. I'm gonna find that engine at the heart of this city. I think it could take them all the way down to Atlantis, but who's to say? I'm here with Bernice, good old partner. Try to convince our target, taking refuge in this city, they gotta get out of here. And, of course, I'm often thinking about that mantra that was always said in my childhood. But, well, I'm sure you'll hear me say it soon enough. Grant, that's my name.
Grant Lillencolly and Bernice Boot have 2 tickets on the express train into the Broken City. The express train only runs on new moons, for some technical reason that nobody will inform you about. The train tracks in the Broken City are built right into the roadways. You come out of the countryside and suddenly you're going down the main street at high speed. On either side of you are streetcars, the occasional horse here and there pulling an old, car here and there. You come to the train station. Massive glass ceilings above your head, full of lush green growth. And Bernice, you've taken out the scrap of paper from a letter that was received some months ago. It has on it an address for the person you're looking for. Godot is his name. You follow your map through the city until you come to the first place of interest. The address matches. It is a squat building. Low, broken looking. Maybe 50 years ago, this would have been a lovely family home. But now it's lost between tall brick buildings that ascend up 10, 12 stories all around it. And it is alone on this block. A broken down squat. An illegal residence. And I'm going to play my Jack of Diamonds.
Also, are we supposed to have our cards right now? Technical question.
You just have one, so
okay,
draw
so I
it
should
down
take
to the
that.
bottom,
Okay.
and it will be in your personal hand.
Cool.
I turn to Bernice and say, "This is the place? Doesn't look like much."
This is the place, all right. According to this here note.
They could have gone anywhere in this whole city. They could have gone anywhere in this whole world, and they chose to stick around here. Here?
This is where it says they chose to go. I guess we gotta check it out.
I think Grant stubbornly pulls out a second identical briefing from the inner pocket, shakes his head and says, "Yeah, says the same thing for me. Sorry, Bernice. Should have trusted you."
It's all right. These big hands, you know, sometimes it makes it hard for me to read little notes.
Well, take one of those hands and give it a knock, why don't you?
And I think Bernice goes up and she knocks on the door. The heavy fist.
You are unaware of your own strength, and as you knock upon the brittle wood of the front door of this old, decrepit place, it breaks. And you smash through the top of the door, and the rest of the door swings open softly, revealing inside an old wooden floor, an abandoned place with sort of detritus, an old mattress here, blankets coiled in the corner, what looks like might be a dog on top of them, and pools of warm sunlight basking in from the holes in the roof. They invite you to enter.
All right. Bernice steps inside.
The stepping is a little more difficult for Grant because already the house has moved just a couple inches away from the edge of the sidewalk that it was before. So he takes a big step in.
Big step in.
Big step.
Feels that dagger on the edge of the foot for a moment.
Ow.
Once you're inside the home, you do a quick look around this front room, and as you push sort of further back, Grant, you actually kind of like stop with a start for a moment, because in the very back room there is a young man, his hair close cropped, and he's hard at work, assembling on the ceiling strings attached to glass bottles, hanging all around like bells from the ceiling. There must be 100 of them in here, different sizes of glass bottles, and inside many of them, a spoon dangles as if to ring the bottle itself. At the very far end of the room, what used to be the kitchen, there is a door with a sheet over top of it, and as you sort of like just come around the doorway, one of the bottles twinkles, ding 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 ding, and the young man turns to you. Hello?
Grant's gonna walk up, not immediately look the young man right in the eye, but take hold of a bottle of a particular vintage, give it a long look, then turn to the young man and say, "You can't get spirits of this caliber where I'm from anymore. Please,
if you like,
I'm Grant. This is my partner, Bernice."
The young man gives you long looks. He's got dark brown eyes, almost black, and bright whites of his eyes. And he gives you kind of a long, hard look. He's gaunt, wearing sort of scrappy clothes. "If you like Mountain Spring," he says, referencing the bottle you have in your hand, you'll love the old watering hole. It's the only thing they serve. My favorite place."
"Oh, kid. I don't drink this unless I mean to forget." And then Grant leans in closer and says, "You forgotten anything lately, kid?"
He looks at you, and a big smile comes over his face. "Do you joke? Of course I do. We all do. We all have the whole. The absence. It is a blessing.
Grant's going to turn to Bernice, raise his eyebrows a little, and nod at her.
Bernice is going to take a look at her partner. And then she's gonna say, you know, what's with all of these spoons you got around here?
They're all made of silver.
Silver, you say?
They're sensitive to the shifting of the city.
I
If
see.
there's anything wrong, they'll tell me.
Wow, you mean when they tinkle around in those there contraptions?
As you say that, as if listening to you, all of the bells start to ring, the spoons clanking around in their bottles, and the young man that you've just met, with a rush, turns and scoots through the doorway at the end of the room with the long sort of sheet over it. Something's wrong.
Well, have you ever tried removing the spoons from these contraptions here? And I think Bernice, can she reach them?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think she starts taking the spoons out of them and putting
Now,
them in
this
her
is a
pockets.
moment where you may need to make a sacrifice here.
Oh, no.
The spoons, you can tell by the man's composure, are very important for whatever contraption this is that he's created.
Right. Of course.
If you do this, you make an enemy. And there's no knowing how far he might follow you.
Oh. 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 Oh.
All right. So, well, I think I will. Can I sacrifice a secret?
What
are my options for what I can sacrifice?
So you you can sacrifice. You can wait. I don't remember.
Okay, so you can either accept the bargain as it's being presented. You can reject it and not get what you're looking for, which in this case is one of these fine silver spoons. Silver spoons and golden windows, a strange place indeed. Or you can, if you have a card which matches the value or suit
right.
that the only card currently out is, you could play it over top and describe how this location changes. Anthony would give you a hand with that because Anthony knows where the chart is in the book. Well.
I had a jack, y'all.
Ooh. Jack of spades.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure how this works. So it sounds like you kind of two things happen. One thing happens, but with a nod to something else. So you get to describe how the scene now changes in your favor in some way. Things now go your way, however we'd like that to be. But you've also played a spade. So you have evoked damaged things. So as we describe how things change, you might want to bring the damaged things into it.
Okay. So I think as I pocket the spoons, the room that we are in seems to shift and sort of move. And I can see cracks in the wall forming. And I don't put the spoons back. I just take a couple spoons and put them in my pocket. And go, oh, this place is clearly not up to code. You are lucky we are not writing you up for this right now. If this place is being held together by spoons, well, that is a lot of violations, sir. You can't just hold a place together with silver spoons. Everyone knows that's against the law.
Oh, easy on him, Boot. He's just a kid.
But this has the effect that you want. You've got him on his back foot with the sort of shaking the violence of the law at him, and also the world is literally coming apart. And that's enough distraction. You think that he won't even remember you when this is over. But you do notice something interesting. As the black wall crumbles of this room, you see the young man, who doesn't match your description of Godot, as far as you're aware, tinkering away at a machine, an engine bolted into the floor of the back of this house, and there is steam whistling from it. It's a small engine, as if, what would go in the front of a car, but he is trying to fix it, whatever it is. He is completely distracted, and now, as you sort of yell about the law, he looks at you with fear, and grabs a couple tools, slides them into his belt, and he looks like he's about to run. Is there anything you want to tell him before he leaves?
Fleeing the scene of a crime is also against the law, need I remind you.
For God's sake, Boot. Hey, kid. You ever seen an engine like that before? But bigger?
You mean the central engine?
I knew it. Goddamn knew it. Hear that, Bernice? But then there's a greater rumbling, I think.
Yeah, it really starts to shake, and as dust fills the air, the young man slips a wrench into his back pocket, and he says, "Our leader, our man Godot, he'll deal with you. He'll keep you safe." And he slips out the back and into the alley as the house starts to rumble down around you, and it's in your best interest to get out of there.
You don't have to ask Grant twice.
Grant
Grant glances at the crumbling walls and says, "Well, there's only one moon," which Grant often says, and slips out between the cracks as they widen back to the sidewalk beyond.
And you hit the sidewalk.
And Bernice follows you out.
Yeah, great.
That's a scene.
That's a scene, baby.
Ooh.
So let's just evaluate really quick.
Yeah.
I said there's only one moon, which is Grant's thing from childhood. We don't know why
Mm-hmm,
yet, but that was a quote. Suggestion of the proof of existence of an engine. We'll check that too. I think we also moved towards this person taking refuge in the city because we were pointed towards them.
Mm-hmm.
We got...
Wait, say that last part again.
Well, we got pointed towards... Sorry, is it Godot or Godot?
Godot.
Godot, okay. So I feel like since we were pointed towards that person, that's progress on that track as well.
Yes.
But then finally, the city has a need.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen any success just yet.
Okay. Then you shall deprive yourself of that for now. And we move on. Bye, Riddlelock. Hope you have a good night.
Bye. Thanks for joining us. Also, guys, before we move on to the next scene, do you mind if I just put on some warmer pants? My place is...
Not at all.
I'm very cold. I'm going to grab a
Do you
blanket.
have fur pants?
Yes. I'm going to go put on my Wookiee
Go
pants.
full Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. I will be back in just a moment. I'm just going to change my pants and grab a blanket, if that's all right.
Cool.
Of course.
This doesn't quite fit here, but...
Oh, it's just like you're streaming with us.
It's just like it.
It's a perfect Amanda
It's just
lookalike.
like a wheel.
I do look just like a wheel, don't I? Whoop. Actually, I guess I could just do this, couldn't I? Put it back here.
Say. Did you find valuable shelf real estate? Amazing.
Well, I mean, this is where I was keeping it before, but the only thing that kind of sucks is it's behind me. So it's not really good for advertising that it exists. Other than in the chat, it does say
Surprise!
1 sub, 1 member, spin the wheel. So you could then ask, what's the wheel? And then I turn
What's
around
the
and
wheel?
go,
Sure,
"Hey."
sure.
Yeah.
Bye, Peter.
Yeah. All right. Bye, Peter. All right.
Hi,
I'll
and
be right
bye.
back.
Cool. Well, as everyone knows, it's time for us to talk about what Canadians talk about when there's nothing else to talk about. Maple syrup.
Maple syrup, to be specific. The only kind of syrup that really matters here in Canada.
We don't even need to say that, do we?
No.
Everybody knows. Now, I should say one interesting thing that I just learned is
Okay.
folks might not already know this, but when you go to a sugar shack, which is often a kind of kitschy and touristy, but sometimes real working farm that produces maple syrup, Stretch was redeemed, there is like a ritual treat that's often served, and you'll find this at winter events as well. Snow gets maple syrup drizzled into it, and it turns into a kind of almost caramel-esque substance.
A maple taffy.
Maple taffy sort of situation. And what's interesting is that I only just learned that you can't just use maple syrup to do this. It has to be extra boiled down maple
Does it?
syrup. Yeah,
Oh.
apparently it's not just maple syrup. You need to use a particularly potent version of
Okay.
maple syrup.
That actually makes sense because it seemed like magic as a kid that like it was hot and then you would cool down on the snow and then somehow that made it like congeal, but maple syrup isn't solid. And I always thought, I don't understand this. Something weird's going on. This answers a lot of my questions.
And it's kind of wild to me because like maple syrup is already so boiled down in terms of the amount
Oh,
that
yeah.
you need to make anything.
Do people know about this? Do people know how concentrated you have to go from maple sap to maple syrup? I don't remember the exact numbers, but in my
40
head it's like
parts.
40 parts.
40 parts. So if you have 40 liters or 40 gallons for those
That
in the
helps.
imperial system, it'll go down to 1 liter or 1 gallon by the time you're done boiling it down. And I should say this, it's still really nice to just drink some raw maple sap.
It is. It is.
It's
a
like,
lovely drink.
yeah, it's ever so slightly sweet. It's pleasant.
It's
It
fresh.
tastes like those sparkling waters that they sell these days that
Right.
that just taste like something, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. This is the original one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think maple syrup producers should be pivoting a little bit more to that market, and I think they already have a little bit.
There is some of that. Does that mean that if we like took a White Claw and we boiled it down 40 to 1, we could like make White Claw syrup?
That's what we should do. That's our next business plan. Thanks, Tully, for the shout. Do love a good RPG, and I've been meaning to play this one since I kickstarted it. That's right. We're talking backing it on the website. It is time, folks.
Oh, wait.
We
I
have
forgot
the
I was
return-
muted.
Oh, yeah. I've just been talking over you.
Oh, that's fine. I wasn't. Well, I wasn't.
No
You
difference
weren't.
than ordinary.
Because I wasn't on. I forgot to hit this button. But I've been enjoying listening to your conversation, so thank you. Also, I grabbed some cheese because I didn't have dinner and I wanted a snack.
Why is your cheese that
So
color?
sad.
It looked like a tiny chocolate bar.
It's a little individually packaged cheese.
Balderson's. It's fancy cheese.
It is fancy cheese.
She's a fancy lady.
With my fur
dinner.
coat and my blankets and my
Perfect dinner.
socks because it's freezing in my apartment because there's no heat.
Dinner for a mouse.
So fancy.
Sorcery, I love a good Mr. Rogers reference. That man.
Man, this camera.
That man.
That man. Can't say enough good things about him. But we are back, so we got to say good things about other stuff. And by good things, I mean story things, because it's time for our city
It's time.
to draw back up to 4. First
Oh,
of all,
I have to draw back up to
immediately.
4. That's helpful.
You always draw back up. Amanda and I will not be allowed to draw cards unless you give us a consequence and we accept it.
Okay. Cool.
Amanda, your
Nice.
camera is off. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, actually, I think there
tried
is
to
one
fix it.
rule. Kurt, does this ring a bell? Because I have been, what is it? Restructured, shuffled, rearranged.
Yeah.
I think I get to draw 2 more cards and have 6 in my hand.
Sure, why not? I'm gonna trust that you saw
I
that.
promise I'm not making stuff up.
I don't think you are.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
It's a kind of sort of a curse because now I have so many cards to think about. But
This is more rules than I usually play with. This book is actually like 93 pages because it's so full of clever thoughts.
it's really cool.
I am more likely than usual to not know the answers to questions. But I will try to help when I can.
The crumbling of the house has been accompanied by a tectonic shift. Here, two parts of the city have come apart. And this has been unfortunate for the house where you just were, but also a nearby building is sort of mostly cleaved in two. And you can see office floors of workers working at mail tables who once were working side by side, who now look at each other over a chasm as these pieces of the city move apart from each other. You are separated from the young man who ran off on the other tectonic plate, and you're forced to turn around back into the rest of the city behind you. You're surrounded here by giant buildings, massive structures. And as you walk away, you think you're walking outside until you look up again, and you see yourself surrounded by the most gorgeous cathedral you've ever seen. There are lovely stained glass windows that create the entire ceiling of this place, and the light here turns multicolors. Your face is being cloaked now in blue, now in purple, now in green. And at the center of this place, there is a preacher, a young woman dressed in white clothing, standing atop a dais. She holds a silver hammer in her hand. And you see as she shouts, she cracks it hard against her skull and yells out in pain. And those around her sort of nod their heads solemnly.
Grant's going to take off his smart era-appropriate hat. I guess a tully, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
And hold it by his side. Turns to Bernice with her little fascinator and veil and says, "We're in the house of the Lord, Boot. Show a little respect."
And Bernice takes off her little hat with her veil.
And then Grant leans in closer and says, "That's it. That was a little strange. Guess everything's a little strange here, but, I mean, how different could it be? There's only one moon." And then starts walking up towards where the preacher is.
There's only one moon.
There's only one moon.
Do you follow Bernice?
I think Bernice stays back for this one.
Watching from afar.
Mm-hmm.
Eating her cheese. We're not canon. It's not canon.
Eating her cheese.
There's no cheese in the Broken City.
It's a big block of cheese, but as Tully suggested, it looks very small in her big hands.
Grant, as you get close, the crowd starts to sort of separate, drawing you in, and so do the words of the woman. Here there's mercy. Here there's forgiveness. All the things that used to torment you. In the broken city, they're broken away. And she smacks again the side of her head with the silver hammer, and everyone bows their head.
Does it make a sound when she does that?
Like a glass bottle.
Whoa. Grant's gonna walk up, sort of disregarding the congregation, and say, "That's a bit of a funny trick there, isn't it? Sound clear as a bell."
That is the sound of someone without sorrows and without regrets. But you have the eyes of a newcomer. And people all start to sort of gather around and try to look at you. And she steps down and she puts one hand on your face. What are you trying to forget, son?
Oh, I'm not here to forget. I'm here to remember something. I know that might be a foreign concept here, but I'm from a foreign place. You could say that.
This isn't a place for remembering. I'm afraid you're not going to have much luck.
He gets a little closer. Kind of squares up his shoulders to hers. Hers? Preacher?
Yeah.
Hers? Yeah. And he says, I'm looking for someone. Goes by the name of Godot.
Her eyes shift back and forth. And she taps just very lightly on the side of her head. Never heard of him?
I'm inclined to think you're not someone I should be believing on that point.
I only keep in here what I want to. But you get a sense that maybe you could make her remember. But you might have to play her game for a second.
Grant's gonna cross his arms, and the folds of his, I want to say he's wearing kind of a trench coat situation, a trench coat over a smart tan suit. He's gonna say, "What do you need from me, preacher?"
She flips the silver hammer in her hands and hands out the handle to you. It's your turn. I know you're so intent on remembering, but there must be something you want to leave behind. The peaceful know they're not their memories. They're something bigger.
Sounds like you're offering me the choice of the scene. My little,
Yes.
do I take it?
You can choose to take the hammer
Oh,
and forget something. Stretcher.
Now,
I missed my stretch. Sorry about that, guy. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's
not
a
my
past
sorcery,
stretch.
Yeah.
well, now I've done it again. Free stretch. You can all
Don't
see
give
my
it away for
patterned
free.
sweater.
Yeah, it was not a
Should
new
I tell
stretch.
the
I
gave it
just
away
mixed
for
up.
free story?
Oh my gosh.
I feel
No.
like everyone's probably heard it. Maybe another time.
Another time. It's a good story. You guys need to hear it, but another time.
Another time.
We should add it to the wheel.
So, Kurt,
So,
Grant,
Grant, I think first is gonna pull that dagger out of his boot and say, "Does it have to come from up here? Or can I leave something else behind? There's some things," he side-eyes the dagger, "I wouldn't mind forgetting. That suit you?"
there's a whispering. This is the first step for many. Yes, I accept your offer. And she holds out her hand for the dagger.
He hesitates for a second, looks at a little, I feel like, initials written on its side,
Mm-hmm.
and then hands it over.
Oh boy.
She pulls her hand back at the last second. But do me one thing. Tell me, what's it mean to you?
He gets a big smile, looks up, and he says, "Once, a long time ago, I used to..." And then his face clouds, and he says, "You know, I don't remember."
And she grabs the dagger. That's what I thought. Welcome to the congregation, and welcome to the Broken City, traveler. And there's a sort of cheering and applause around you. People put their hands on your back, and she puts one hand over your shoulders and walks you away from the crowd and back towards you, Bernice, so that you're in earshot as this happens. Godot's a dangerous man. I'm not sure you want to find him, but they say he works with the mechanics under the shifting sands of this city. There's only one way down that I know of. In the old graveyard.
Funny place to be looking to go down.
Nowhere better. That's where we put them under.
I'm I'm happy for that to be our scene.
I like that.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So I feel like we're getting closer.
Seems true to me. I also
I'm gonna
feel like
tick away.
You also
at one
said
of
there's
my
only one
boxes
moon
here.
again.
I did, yeah. The game doesn't end if I fill that up, by the way. That's just a fun little treasure, a fun little side quest for me to lean into.
Yeah, you guys are getting closer though. And the Oblivion marches just a little bit forward.
Mm-hmm.
For those who are curious, I am going to drop a little screen capture of our not playing cards area, our other playing area. This is a game that wants a few different places to look.
Are you
I'll
dropping
drop
it in the
chat.
Discord? Oh, in the chat?
I'll do both.
I
way, if
was
you're
going to say, I
listening
can also show people as well at any time. I have that window. Oh, boy.
That is fair.
If you
But
guys
I've
wanna see.
already done what I promised to
I
do.
like it. I like it. Also, I feel like the sheet is, I mean, we're just ticking boxes. You guys aren't missing too
That's
much.
true. It's not going to change.
But it's very stylized, and I love our little characters. They're great.
It's fun to
Bernice
play
and
one
Grant.
character. I don't usually do that.
It's true.
I'm glad you get to.
Okay. Well, our eyes turn. Oh shoot! I draw a card because I accepted your.
Ooh,
Awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
Great news.
I'm just gonna share the Imgur link with people in the YouTubes
Nice.
if y'all want to see over here. Also, Tully is saying if you guys do this game again, I want to get in on this look. I think that's what they're saying. You should totally get in on this look. What a look! Although I also love that now at this point I'm wearing pajama pants, cozy socks, and a blanket. But
Absolutely incredible.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm thinking of getting a space heater, actually. Just, we'll see how it is tomorrow, but it's very cold. Although I also just looked up, and apparently in Ontario, if your landlord or landlady does not respond about heat within 24 hours, that's very bad. It's supposed to be an emergency. But once I get the thermometer, I'll be able to see if it's actually cold in here, or if I'm just losing my mind. Because I'm also usually very cold, so it might just be me.
Let's go to the next place, shall we?
Yeah.
Please.
So we have to go to the
city
graveyard?
shifts on.
Well,
You're trying to get
see
there.
if we're right there. Anthony gets to tell us
How
we're
successful we are. That's where we're headed.
That one strikes against my instincts on games where I'm like, well, where do you guys go? But no, I tell you where you go.
in case anyone's curious, the thematic reason is that this city is shifting, and we aren't generally supposed to see it shift, for the record. So the rearrangements are unusual events.
Unusual.
Okay. You continue your way, having got directions from a kid on the street selling flowers to the graveyard, a place where they often sell their wares. But it's a ways away, and they tell you, I'm not sure the platforms are connected right now when you ask, but there is one way for you to find out. A map called the Beaker's Cartography that stands here in the high section of the city. They give you directions for you to check just how the connections are made between the different platforms this time, and you make your way. It begins to rain softly, and where the rain hits your bare skin, it bites slightly, burning ever so little as it drifts down your skin. And you find yourself in the Beaker's Cartography, a massive glass exhibition of tubes and containers, bubbling liquids traveling from one glass container to another, all arranged in sort of a semicircular array that sort of like fills an entire courtyard of the city. The tubes of these sort of chemistry-like equipment. Sort of is like creates like a wall, a semicircular wall that lifts sort of like 20 feet up into the air. And here and there around it are clustered travelers and residents all staring at this massive sort of glass map. You can tell that the sort of the chemicals, um, the liquids, they form themselves into shapes that help you make out what parts of the city are connected to each other as you stare into the glass. There are vendors here as well, and it's a spectacle as you step in, and you're taken back by just the scale of this creation. I'm going to play the Five of Hearts.
I'm gonna turn to Boot and say, well, no wonder that kid had some fine whiskey. Make a hell of a distillery if they used all these beakers the right way.
And I think Boot just silently kind of like nods at you and says, I used to know something. I used to know something about beakers back in my day. I thought I did once. And Bernice thinks back to when she got a B- on her chemistry test.
Boot, you
How much
keeping it
does
together? People forget things here.
Yes, yeah, no, I'm great. I know about beakers. And she storms off in a direction.
In a direction.
Yeah, I think, like, is there a tube that she could follow? Sorry, I'm just gonna restart my camera because it froze.
Yeah.
I don't know why this camera is acting up, like, more than usual. Must be the cold. Must be the drilling for the oil.
Yeah, it's that drilling. They keep getting your wires. Is there a tube that you can follow as if on the map? Do you mean, Amanda? Or do you mean, like, follow the direction that it sort of tells you to follow?
Well, I mean, like, that it's, like, are these tubes, like, extended and interconnected? Like, do they run...
Like, into different parts of the city, or...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There are tubes that sort of, like, head off down streets, seeming to... Maybe that's how the information about the positions of the city is transmitted via these tubes. But they seem to reach out like a spider web into the streets of the city in every direction.
Right. Yeah, I want to follow one of them.
If you see stuff moving through it, it's connected.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone particular, or you've just chosen one at random in your flurry of sort of disappointment with yourself?
I've just chosen one at random. I'm gonna choose the one that looks the most held together, the most, like, stable.
Nice. You choose one that has a thick yellow vapor flowing through it at quite a rapid pace, away from the map and out into the city. And you, like the vapor, start moving.
All right.
What does Grant do? I think we hear Grant's voice more distantly, sort of yelling after Bernice, like, "Get back here, Boot! We have..." But it like fades away as the like bustle of the city creates distance between them. So I think we follow Bernice this scene. I just had one. It was
That's true. Bernice, the tube splits fairly quickly.
Oh.
In two different directions, and you can see that there's a pale white gas coming from one direction, a dark orange one coming from another, that are mixing together here at this juncture. And as you look forward, the glass tubes shoot off in either direction, and you can see them splitting up ahead as well. You're overwhelmed with the choices.
I'm gonna go towards the pale.
As you follow the pale for a couple steps, it diverges again. A liquid coming from one direction, a dark black sludge from another, mixing chemically into a white gas that pours forward towards the center of the city.
I think I'm gonna head towards the center, but I think that Bernice is being, like, ever more haunted by this B- as she goes down her path. She just keeps thinking about, like, if I hadn't got that B-, I would have known what all this means. Ugh. Why did I have to be sick that one day when we learned about so much chemistry?
There's a stark risk here, Bernice, of getting lost.
Right.
The city has wrapped you into its web, and this city shifts. The city is incredibly easy to get lost in. But if you continue to be possessed by this memory, you will just continue to get lost. I'll give you an offer.
Okay.
If you let go of it, the memory, the frustration, if you let it go, maybe you'll have the strength to turn back and not get lost in the web.
I am going to refuse your offer.
Right, I don't remember what happened.
I could do that, right? I can say no. Oh boy.
You can.
Probably
but
gonna
that
get
means
really lost.
You're getting lost.
I'll get lost, yeah.
Get lost.
Get
Sorry.
lost, sucker.
Intrusive, bad
Bernice.
80s movie in my mind.
Yeah, Tully, Bernice
Fine.
was off for like all of the chemistry, apparently. Whatever was on that test. That one day
Doesn't
in
remember
class.
anything. You can't let go of this thing, and you just keep taking pathways this way and that way and this way and that way, flowing ever deeper into the city. I'm just gonna play another card. I don't think it's directly in the rules to do so, but you've gone to a different place. We're just gonna throw one more card on the table to fill out our map.
All right. Also,
I told you
hello,
sometimes I can just
Chemdog.
refuse the rules.
You can just refuse the rules? That's part of the rules?
Mhm.
Oh, cool. I love when games are like, you know what the rule is for this? Just you can just say no to this rule.
Just say no.
Say no to this rule.
You have taken yourself all the way out to this new part of the city symbolized by the 5 of diamonds.
Okay.
The tube that you're following ends in a great glass bell jar. You know what I mean? Like one of those, like,
Okay. Oh,
right.
boy.
And this bell jar sits in the center of a garden.
Yeah, I think that card means something, Chemdog. Okay. And a garden? All right.
In a garden. It's the middle of sort of like a hedge maze that you've followed up to this point.
Okay.
At the very center, there is a gorgeous flower. It's like petals, an incandescent, pale gray, like the surface of the moon modeled here and there. And you can see that in sped up time, the flowers open and the petals drop away, and it releases a silver vapor that gets captured in the bell jar into the tube and rushes down into the rest of the city.
All right.
It's dark in this garden, and you can hear the clinking and clacking of metal cans all around you. You've lost yourself. It's scary and wild here.
I think I'm gonna puff up my chest and act like this is a place where I'm meant to go. And I'm gonna pretend that I'm just taking in the sights, trying to find what's making like the cans like that are making that sound, to see if I can see them moving. Also, this feels like such a trap. I gotta say, this feels like a D&D trap. I feel like I've done this before and it doesn't go well.
You follow the sound of the cans.
Atomic
That wasn't-
Sorcery, thank you so much for subscribing with Prime. Hold on a second, we gotta spin this
We
wheel.
got a
Hold
wheel
on.
to spin.
Hold on.
Oh,
I love this, by the way. This is some cool scene right here, Anthony.
all right,
Ooh,
Anthony.
Extension Amanda.
You said hold on a second, so. Oh, you mean hold on to spin the wheel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, wait, before you spin. I was like,
No,
oh,
spin it, spin it.
No, it's spinning time. I think we
Alright.
all know it's spinning time.
We have to incorporate a word that you choose, atomic sorcery, into this scene.
Atomic sorcery. This is a big choice here.
You can
You really
choose a
can
word.
change the course of this game.
This could change everything that Bernice is about to do in this interaction that's coming up, I'm sure. Also, thank you so much for using your Prime on us. I really appreciate that. Thank
Yeah, it's
you.
super sweet.
I know everyone.
Appreciate you.
You only get one Prime, and you use it here. That means a lot. So yes, I'll let you.
Should I continue? And then if we get a word, we bring it in when it comes.
We're gonna keep an eye open.
Yes.
We've got
Right.
those
Yep.
eyeballs.
Yep. Just
We
let us
we
know
all
when you're
look at
ready.
the chat.
Mm-hmm. And you can, like, if you want to hold it for a few minutes to see where it goes, totally cool. But whenever you're feeling that word, let us know. Yeah, give me a second.
Let
All
us
right,
know.
take
Yeah,
your
yeah.
time. Take
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
time.
Take your time. Drop it in when you want to.
There's only one moon.
There's only one moon.
Everyone knows.
Here in the darkness of the tall hedges, Bernice looks around the edge of one of the hedges in the direction of the clinking cans.
Yeah.
And you see their source. There are 4 humped over, sort of slumped over, bent at the waist human figures. Their skin covered in black soot, gray chalk, and tied around their waist are strings attached to cans. Long lines of 30 cans all attached on strings, and as they shuffle forward, clink, 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 the cans rustle together. And as they see you, they all look up, a hunger in their eyes.
Ooh, atomic sorcery. I love that word. Atomic sorcery has chosen the word ink.
Ink. Heck yeah. They start to run forward, Bernice.
To me?
Mm-hmm.
I think Bernice is going to, well, Bernice was going to wave. I think she's a little intimidated by them running towards her. I think that she is going to give a speech.
Tell us, what does this speech sound like?
So rather than run away, Bernice tries to stand her ground. And she says to these human bodies, oh, wait. Listen for a second. You seem to think that you are beholden here, in this here place. But I got some words for you. Now, just because you think you have to stay here in this place, covered in your soot, I don't know what your life has been. I don't know how these cans got on you, but I think that you are being held here because you don't even remember. And I would like to say to you that you write your own words. You write your own history. You could free yourself of these cans, and you could go pluck that flower if you wanted under that jar. Why not?
You realize that as you said the word remember, the hungry forms stopped in their places. Inches away from you, about to grab out, rip at your clothes, take your things. They all pause. And one of them says, Tell me my name. I want to remember my name.
And I think Bernice, in her pocket with her, has a little notepad that she and Grant use when they're on cases, and has a pen. And she says, while you may not be able to speak it, it lies within you. Physical memories run deeper than we can even know. Write your name, boy. Write it. And
You
she
reach out
hands
and
you a
grab.
pen.
I take the pen, and the paper, the pad, and sort of shakily place the pen on the pad. And the pen begins to move, the shaking of their hands. When you look down at the pad, what do you see? What's been written there?
I see the name Simon.
Scrawled in ink across the pad, Simon. Simon clutches the paper and holds it fast. Thank you. You can pass here. No one will touch you. And Bernice heads back into the city. Calmer now, she follows the tube back to where she came from. And that's the end of that scene.
Whoo! Thank you for the suggestion, Atomic Sorcery. I feel like it helped get me out of a bind.
Now, certainly that advanced the piece of the past thing. I feel like it must have.
All right, I'll take that, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you advance in anything else, Bernice?
I
You
advanced.
definitely thought a lot about your recollection of
I did.
chemistry.
I did. I gave myself a point for that, since that basically like launched us into this scene. I mean, we didn't convince the person we're looking for to leave the city, so I guess it doesn't count that I helped someone find their name, because that's not really. It's not really that.
I guess so.
Yeah. I thought about making it the person we were looking for, but then I was like, I don't know if that makes sense here. I like that because that would be helpful, but I was like, I don't know if that's who this is.
Fair. Well, what you got for us, Anthony?
Well, as you both quickly find out, as you start to ask around about how to find each other, there's a place in the Broken City for lost things. A place where all lost things go.
Love that.
And lost people are taken there as well. And both of you meet at the finding place, at the center of the city. Who gets there first?
I think I've been waiting there.
Nice.
Yeah. We see Grant with a notebook out, scribbling things down in fresh ink on that page. And each thing's written more hurriedly than the last. The notes having started out so cleanly, and now it seems like every little detail in Grant's life is going into this notepad.
Interesting. You sit on a bench beside sort of a long sort of administrative building. It's built in the old style, large stone arches. At this time, there's still a beauty to places with sort of regular, ordinary functions. But still, the sort of administrative weight of this building bears down on you. You are surrounded on each side by other people waiting on this bench, waiting to find someone, waiting to be found, many of them with blank stares on their faces, some quietly muttering under their breath. And a man and woman in gray frocks, with notepads and a small bag full of necessities, bandages, are moving along the benches. And beside you, you can hear their conversation. Have you forgotten everything? Then see. Have you forgotten everything? See. And the person on the bench is like, oh, yes, yes. Where am I? And And the man and woman quickly sort of like look in the tags of their clothing and look in their pockets to try to find anything they can find out about this person and write it down and then put a silver bracelet around their wrist stamped with 4 letters, an identifying mark. And they move on to you. And what are you looking for then?
My
Have you
partner.
forgotten everything?
No. I remember plenty. I've just written it down. It's right here. I'm looking for my partner. We're here for a reason. And I know the reason. We're looking for Godot.
There's a shiver down their spines. You've got the vitality of a newcomer. That's a rare thing around here. You're so motivated.
Don't lose your spark. How are you gonna light it up again? There's only
Well,
one moon.
Don't worry about me. I drank the spirits, remember. I won't forget. You're looking for your partner. What you look like?
Grant's shaking his head with disdain. You drink
What?
to forget. You drink to forget.
Not here.
Oh,
You're gonna
You don't
find
know.
out a lot of the things you thought were true in the broken city aren't true anymore. Sometimes you drink to remember, and sometimes there's more than one moon.
Grant shakes his head and says, if things were just true, just because you thought they were, I could say anything. I could say anything and make it happen, and it wouldn't even matter, would it?
Try it.
Bernice is gonna walk through that door right now.
And Bernice walks
And-
through the door right then.
I'm happy to see you, Boot.
Oh, Grant. I didn't know where I was. I was following those tubes. And then something happened to me.
Well, it's getting to me too, Boot. These two are telling me I should drink if I want to remember. What kind of memories are those?
Drink to remember?
Drink to remember.
I think it goes drink to forget.
You know what? Grant points at the couple. I've drank to remember before. But it's not that I'm trying to remember. It's a point of honoring somebody. You ever do that? Try it right now. Raise that stupid glass of yours. Tell me about somebody you want to remember right now.
Well, my mother. I remember her. She had soft hands, firm grip. And there was a time where I was going to forget her. She was cruel sometimes. She'd hurt me. But she was soft. She loved me. And I choose to remember her.
Grant looks at Bernice and says, feel like I should have something to raise in toast. That one felt important.
The man offers his drink to you. Drink with me.
As I go to take it, it seems to shift in my hand. No longer is it a simple vessel, but an elaborate absinthe glass with a delicate, beautifully wrought spoon and a sugar cube on top.
What happened,
Wonder.
sir?
Well, I took it from you and it changed. The city don't make any sense.
I've never seen that before. Something special about you.
I'll tell you, it's never happened before I got here. Bernice, you ever had absinthe before?
I think Bernice pulls out a flask, and she has absinthe in it now. And she says, no, but I seem to somehow have this... Well, that can't be right. I've never had absinthe before, but somehow I seem to have this absinthe on me now.
Well, if we're drinking from the worm's wood, let's at least get you something for your trouble. And I think that Grant is gonna pull that beautiful spoon out and pass it to Bernice for your collection.
If you drink with me, I will also tell you a memory. And the woman is holding up a small glass, now also filled with a pale green liquid.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. And they all drink. And you can feel the absinthe settling into your stomach. Feels heavy, like an anchor. And the memory that you are making in this moment burns so bright, you start to worry that it will light other ones on fire. The woman across from you tells you, I want to remember the man I met when I first arrived here. He was full of hope. He said, I'm going to find all the memories in this place that have gotten lost. They must go somewhere, he said. I asked him, what do I call you? He said, just call me God. I'm going to unmake the heavens. That's something I'll never forget. And she sips again.
There's an intense expression on Grant's face as he walks closer to the woman, and he says, where is he? Where is he now?
I've heard. I've heard things. I wish to meet him again, you know. He's not the same as he once was. But he has a house in the great silver building. The knife. 17th floor. But don't tell anybody I told you.
Grant does a motion perfect sealing of the lips, turning of the key, flicking it over his shoulder. You can almost hear a faint metallic chime as an imagined key lands.
Well, to God.
To God. And that's our scene. I think lots of progress was made.
That's a lot of progress was made.
For the record, we do not have to have filled a track to feel our story has completed.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Just gonna throw that one out there.
I think that's a good one to throw out there.
Think indeed, Dog.
A lot of sounds still happening.
I don't. Can stream hear it? Because we can't hear it, but we also have Zoom filtering, so I don't know.
That's true. I don't know if you guys
We're
can
in the
hear.
worst position.
I don't think it's a very loud sound, to be honest. But there's just like there was so much clinking in the pipes. I was like, oh my gosh, the pipes.
The pipes.
And now, I feel like I can hear something. Hold on.
Surely not now. It's too late now.
No, I don't hear anything. Just
We've
the
got
sound
a new
of
card.
things
We've got a new card.
A new card in the city. A new card in the city. For those of you that don't know about this amazing game, by the way, this is a game where we have to draw cards and they kind of shape sort of what happens in the city that Anthony is building because he's playing as the city. And so this is our board, which also represents our city. It's a very cool game. You guys should check it out. I'm going to put it in the chats again for you all, in case you wanted to check the link.
So it wasn't just for Rapala, but also it was a little bit for Rapala.
It doesn't take you long to find by word of mouth where the knife is. And when they tell you where it is, one of the locals says, "Oh, it's in the circular gardens, looking over the hedge maze." And Bernice, luckily, that's one of the only places you know where to go in the city. And so you lead Grant back through the winding streets, the shifting sands of the broken city, back to the same garden where you were before. And now you have a chance to look up. 7 buildings surround this circular garden, one on each side, each of a different type, built at a different time. One heavy black brick, but that ascends 20 feet into the air, 20 stories into the air. Another, a bronze, a copper, filled with bulbous shapes and windows that sheen like gold. But at the far end of the garden is the oldest building in the city, a skyscraper that cuts through the sky itself. It is sharp and pointed like a knife, a thin, sharp edge pointing towards the gardens. And you look up the windows of what must be the 17th floor, your destination. The lobby is marble floored, the shape of a knife, of course, and the people at the desk don't even look at you. There's a glass elevator, perfectly transparent and circular in the center of the lobby, and you wait for a long time for the elevator to come. But the golden capsule arrives, and you step inside. You must pull the lever 17 times to register the floor, but you do, and you are pulled up into the sky to the 17th floor.
In the elevator, I think that Grant turns to Bernice and says, "You know, I'm not much one for ancient thoughts, but once read that Plato said the smallest thing you could have is a tiny little triangle. Can't get rid of it, can't tear it apart. When I see this place, I like to imagine it gets so sharp at the top. It's a little tiny triangle, tearing that sky apart. Or maybe I don't like to imagine it at all."
Why do they call it a skyscraper?
Tears it right open. And then we hear that
Ding!
chime of a bell.
Sounds just like a glass bottle being hit by a spoon. And the golden doors open into the center of a gorgeous, ornate apartment. The floors here are marble, covered in fur, rugs, scattered about the place, overflowing with furs. The place looks like it is mostly in disrepair, overwhelmed by discarded articles of clothing, broken plates, scattered glass. And you can hear someone whistling somewhere in the apartment.
Among the clothes discarding on the floor, there's a beautiful belt made of a kind of leather that Grant's never seen before, and always the opportunist. He picks it up, slides through his own belt loops, and straps it on.
It's funny that you mentioned looking down and finding that, because there's also, Bernice, you notice a silver spoon buried in the rug of bear fur off to your left. It glints in the dying sunlight.
Bernice goes over and looks down to examine it.
As you look into it, it does that thing that spoons do, where your face appears in the sheen of the cup, but upside down. You see your own confused face staring back at you, upside down.
This one looks so small in your hands, Boot.
Is it small? And Bernice hands it to you.
As I take it, it looks so much more normal sized in my hands. That's a spoon, all right. Don't know why you keep them. And then I think I slide it into your pocket.
What are you doing in my house, see?
All right.
And you look behind you, and there's a man stooped with age, wearing a fine silk nightgown tied up tight around his waist. He has a long white mustache that trails down to two long wisps that sort of seem to drift in a wind you cannot feel. He holds a wrench in one hand. Who let you in here?
Put it down, old timer. We're not here to cause any trouble.
Why have you come? Why have you come to the house of God? Only the pious can come here.
Crossing his fingers with hope, Grant is going to slip that spoon back out of Bernice's pocket and tap it to the edge of his head, hoping it rings.
It's a dull ring. The bottle seems half full, perhaps, but there is a ring. Ding! Are you one of them? Those who've turned the machinations of this place into a religion. Those who don't want to understand what goes on here. Are you one of them?
You asking as a man who calls himself God?
It's an old joke. Not God, I'm a man, can't you see?
Oh, I can
Godot,
see.
it's my last name. Shortens to God.
But what about the engine?
What do you know?
Well,
What do you know about the engine?
I've seen the center of this city. And we've seen smaller apparati through this place.
Oh,
And it's
wait.
So you do remember.
Did you destroy my safe house? Did you terrify old Pip?
I'm not at liberty to decline that information.
He looks confused.
Says Bernice, with her hands fumbling for her spoons, which, due to her hands being clumsy, as she goes to just simply like rub them securely, they kind of just tumble out of her pocket onto the ground.
Spoons. Wait. That's one of the spoons from the safe house.
I'm not at liberty to say where I found those spoons.
I know where you found those spoons.
Didn't seem too safe to me, Godot.
You say that name with a familiarity. No one has it here.
Well, you don't remember, do you? You were our partner once.
No. You've come to lie to an old man who remembers nothing.
Grant shrugs, starts to turn, says, well, you don't have to listen to us. You can keep here sitting at the edge of the sky, and maybe people will keep calling you God. That's what you want.
What you have to ask yourself is this what you want to be doing for the rest of your life?
You remember why I was sent here?
Grant flips through his notebook, doesn't find anything.
I remember something about an event that happened. But we've been in this city for too long.
It goes fast, doesn't it?
It does.
You think you can come in and change the place. You can come in, you can take people out of it. You can come in, you can save people. But the city's got a mind of its own.
Who is it
The
you
city's got a
lost
hunger.
again, God? That brought you here?
My family moved. When I was little, I'd gone to the academy and they moved for a better life. At first, the postcards would come. Then they'd come blank. Then they wouldn't come at all. I was smart enough to know what happened to them. I read the books in the library. I came here to change it. If you could just stop it. Stop the machine in the center of this place that eats away your regrets and anything uncomfortable, I could save other people from losing. Losing everything I lost.
We go down there, and we can't stop the machine. Would you still come with us back home?
You can't stop the machine. And he grips the wrench a little tighter. I won't let you.
Well, for God's sake, Godot, your story's losing focus. There's only one moon. You can't want two things.
The world's not so simple as you think. Grant. The world's not so simple, Grant. Sometimes you find another moon beneath the surface, and you realize this place gives as much as it takes.
Well, maybe
And who
it
am I
isn't.
to decide? Who am I to decide to take their regrets away?
Well, maybe it isn't up for you to decide, and maybe it's up for these people to figure out their way. Have you ever thought about that? It sounds like you brought quite a bit of, well, something to these people. These people seem to be able to cling to memories that they want to preserve when it suits them. And at the end of the day, isn't it up for us to decide who we are?
So you say we leave the place.
I see two options. I say we leave the place, or I say we stay and we decide who we want to be. But either way, you gotta make a choice.
He pushes past you towards the elevator. You see, I'm the only one who understands how the machines work anymore. I learned enough to destroy them, and that ended up me knowing the most. It's not so simple. If I leave, this place falls apart. Is that what you want?
Show us. Then we can all decide.
It's risky, you understand, bringing you down there. If I let you see it, you gotta make me a promise. You'll leave here. And you won't ruin anything. You won't touch anything else. You'll go as soon as I show you.
Grant's mouth grows thin. Then he nods, and he reaches down. It's blood-packed then, but there's no dagger in his boot where there would be. And Grant shrugs, smile quirking at his lips in spite of himself, and says, "Well, then all I can give you is my word."
I'll take it. And yours, Bernice.
All right. I'll give you my word, but only for old time's sake. And only because I still owe you those $2.
You're a good woman. I definitely didn't remember that. Get in. And the elevator descends. Past the lobby and down into the center of the city. You descend into a great empty cavern. Machinations of machines all around you. The whirling of steam passes the glass of the elevator. You see brass cogs roll into each other, and then the elevator stops in the darkness. A pale white light fills the place. A soft light. The old man steps out and nods for you to come after as you step out onto a metal catwalk that sort of extends through this empty cavern. You can smell salt in the air. And as you look over the side of the catwalk, the sea calls to you. The ocean splashes just 6 feet below this catwalk. You reach the end and you look up. And you can see the engine at the center of it all. Metallic shapes shifting around a core that gives off energy. Something at the center, a mystery that powers it. The shifting of these plates around this core, they hook into other levers and gears, and you can see it emanate out, powering the whole thing. And here and there you catch glimpses behind the metal of the core running the whole thing. A stone surface, a pale gray, luminescent of its own accord. Here it is. Took me a decade to get down here to destroy it, and by the time I did, I couldn't remember anybody outside of this place. And all I knew was that sometimes the second moon and its hunger for your memories, for your pain, sometimes it helps people. Maybe it's not an evil god, but a benevolent one. And then lovingly, as if he sort of forgets you're there, he leans down and starts to tweak something with his wrench, a tiny repair, an alteration.
I know there will be a price for this. I want to take his wrench and hurl it into the machine.
Ah! Chaotic. I love it. Also, you're right,
There's a
Rapala.
price.
This catwalk does not sound safe. Not in the slightest.
As you grab the wrench away from Godot, he looks up at you with wide eyes. Maybe it's all your time working together, but he knows what you're going to do. No, you don't understand. If you do that, so close to it, we're all going to lose everything. All of our memories. Everything that makes you you. Grant, don't do it.
There's one thing I know. That's that there's only one moon. My mother used to say that. Throws it up, and we see it slowly twist, spiraling back. As he catches it, winds back, and with an expert pitch, throws it into the heart of the second moon.
Shunk, 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 shunk. The wrench sort of spins through the air, and just as two plates on the surface of the second moon separate, the wrench flies through them and in the stone on the other side. And you can only see it for a second, but you can see the impact. The stone is brittle and soft, and as the wrench hits it, it explodes, cracks away from each other. And then the burst of light is too much and overwhelms everything else. A memory burning so bright that it burns all the others away. And that's Broken Cities.
That's Broken City.
Man,
Yeah!
we broke that city. Get
You really
wrecked.
did. You literally broke it.
Wow, that was cool. That was like, I think that's one of the best stories we've done.
That was really cool.
Like, just like overall everything building into each other, getting weirder and weirder as we descend. Very cool.
Love a good weird story.
I love a good weird story. I love a good weird story where it also becomes kind of like strangely philosophical.
Yeah, me too.
It's partly on me. Whoops.
I mean,
It's on you?
I feel like that's partly on all of us. I think we all leaned pretty well into that early on. We all kind of were like, is this just weird stuff? And then we're like, but what if it's weird stuff that's saying things about like humanity and like identity and like
I can't resist the urge. Weird stuff has so much possibility to be weird stuff about real stuff that it's just, you just gotta try.
You gotta go there a little bit at least.
It was very fun having a catchphrase, I gotta say. It was surprisingly fun having a catchphrase.
It was a great final use of the catchphrase, Kurt. That made me so happy. There's only one moon. Ugh.
Oh my gosh, Atomic Sorcery, you have a page of fan art? Yes, please feel free to throw it.
What? Atomic Sorcery? What the hell? That's so cute.
Thank you. I love this. I will say, I feel like Grant's character was such a vibe. Like, I could just picture him so vividly.
I like the opportunistic part of it. I kind of forgot that until at some point. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's him.
That's what ended it for me. I was like, I'm right here and I have the tools to do it. So
you gotta try.
Gotta try.
Not sorry.
Yeah, even at the cost. I mean, you know, I kept my promise. At least I don't have to pay that $2 back. I think Bernice is fine with that. Hopefully Bernice doesn't have to be haunted by the memory of her chemistry test, even though I love that that was the thing that I refused to give up. I was like, I will not give up this painful memory. I just felt, what kind of character will she be if she doesn't have this one thing to hold her back? She'll just be boastful, I feel like.
In my head canon, Bernice becomes one of the memory zombies in the garden above, but all she can remember is like B minus, B minus, B minus.
This idea of like letting memories consume you and what that means is also so fascinating to me, that we built into this story of, you know, what do you, when you have these memories, like how do they shape you and how do they define you, and even in sometimes haunting you, how it can both be bad and good at the same time, and the duality of everything with the two moons. That was, oh, so interesting.
Choice, Anthony. Hold it together.
Yeah. Chemdog
So
says
fun.
catchphrase, every hero should have one. Yes, I also loved that. That was great. Very, very good.
Thanks, guys. That felt like such a treat for me. Thanks for letting me build weird cities.
Treat for me too.
Thanks
Thumbs
for
up.
building weird cities. This was great. Thanks for
And
traveling with me, Kurt.
Oh, my pleasure. That was a lot of fun. I should say also thanks to CAMEO.
Yeah.
If whether you're hearing this or not, thanks for making a cool game. I have been meaning to play one of your games for
Super cool game. Thank you, Com.
Yes, thank you. It was lovely. 10 out of 10 would play again.
Yeah, that I had this feeling today as I was like running home for this, literally running home, and I was like, I really hope that we play today something that just like evokes a feeling that like takes me to that place where I feel like, oh, a weird little world that makes me just a bit uncomfortable and a bit in love. And then we did it. We went to that place. So thank you, Com. That was amazing.
It was really good. We did go to that. You know what's weird too? I was thinking about like, I feel like today is a day I need something to have like a lot of like meaning. So maybe we were all kind of on that same page without us even discussing this before we sat down to play this game.
You love to see
That's
it.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Also, there was a thing that was happening, Anthony. I don't know if anyone else noticed it in chat, or Kurt, if you noticed it, but it felt like, I also don't know if it's just because like I'm very cold and honestly like exhausted in this moment a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But your eyes looked like there was like a light just across your eyes at times. Like you were in like, yeah, maybe it's just the shadow of your mic or something.
Mic
it's not
and
very,
hat.
yeah, in your hat. It's not very like, you know, it's not like full like noir vibe. But it was like a hint of like a noir thing. And I was like,
Cool.
what is happening right now? I was like watching you as you're like playing this character and you're like, yeah, like, what do you think of that? And I was like, what is going on? So yeah, everyone, please let me
That's
know
cool.
if I
That's
am
cool.
hallucinating or if that was real. I might be hallucinating. I at one point, my nose is so cold right now. I can't even. Oh boy. I'm going to be bundling.
Poor Amanda. This
It's
might be
all right.
Amanda's last stream. She's going to turn into an ice cube.
I might die. Yeah. If you don't see me tomorrow, it's because I froze to death in my sleep. No, I'm sure I'll be fine. I think the things that I'm hearing with the pipes is maybe the hoping that it's the radiators getting that water so they can turn back
I
on.
hope so.
Fingers crossed. I'll keep you guys updated. Well, friends, this was great. If you guys aren't already following my friends, by the way, they are the coolest, and you should follow them so that you don't miss out when they do cool things. Because, yeah, they should do more cool things. Also, if you're a person that's watching this at any future time... Oh, I froze again. How appropriate.
We almost made it.
That explains it all, yeah.
But yes, they are amazing humans where if you are a person that needs, oh, there, I'm close again. If you are a person that needs RPG people, you should also like get my friends to play games with you and like on your show. If any of my friends are watching this that have RPG
Yeah,
shows.
do it.
Yeah, I
That'd be
know
great
some
fun.
people. Turning blue, says Chemdog. Yep. That's why the lights are blue in the background. It's because this is becoming an ice
That's
palace.
how cold it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very cold. But anyways, I'm gonna get a thermostat tomorrow, and I'm gonna see how cold the air is, and we'll see how bad it is, or if it's in my mind, because I'm also I'm an ice queen. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug before we go tonight? Other
Not
than this
I.
wonderful game.
How about you, Kurt?
If you like weird storytelling games, I make them too. You can find my stuff at the link in the description on either Twitch or YouTube. Amanda just plugged us as well. And yeah, feel free to check out some weird little games. I'm probably launching, am I going to say it? Probably launching a Kickstarter soon for my sock puppets game.
What?
Just a little one,
this.
just a little 2-week Kickstarter, just a little
Interesting.
guy.
Interesting.
It's gonna be cute. It's a very silly LARP with a sock puppet and another sock puppet.
I can't wait for us to play that one. I feel like it's gonna be so fun.
We're gonna play it, right, Kurt?
I can make it happen. Yeah, we can.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we should definitely play.
Cool.
I also cannot wait for that to happen. Please let us know so that we can all go support the Kickstarter and shout it from the rooftops.
I can do that.
Yeah. And
that's it for me. So.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll be back if I don't freeze. I will be back. When am I coming back? Tomorrow night. I'll be back. I might be in a onesie. I might be dressed up like Gizmo or something if I'm really cold. Because my onesies are some of the warmest things that I own in terms of indoor attire. I'm going to be playing Lethal Company with my friends Lucy McPhee, and Uptown Duck. We'll be playing online. I gifted this to my friends so that we could all play together. So I hope you come and enjoy the chaos that is Lethal Company. I've only watched it played, but it looks ridiculous, so I'm really excited. And then Saturday, I will hopefully be back around 12-ish to do some more Marvel Snap. I might do another stream somewhere in between those and do some Legos and cosplay, depending on the temperature in my apartment. And on Monday, next Monday, we'll be back doing some more indie RPG stuff. I think.
Woo.
I'm assuming.
I think so.
But probably. Because that's what we do.
But we'll
We're
see.
on a roll.
We'll talk after the stream.
We'll
and you
see.
won't hear us, but we'll find out.
That's what the next one would be in the normal schedule. So keep your ears tuned. Is that a thing people say? Tune those ears. All right, friends.
No ears.
I think that's it. I'll see you soon. Everybody go check out my Ghostbusters full review, and that goes up hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking spoilers, and I cannot wait. I have thoughts, and I want to share them with you all. All right. That's it.
Thanks for joining us. That was really fun.
That was so fun. All right. Bye, everyone. Stay
Bye, y'all.
nerdy.
Bye,
Stay
folks.
warm. All right. Bye.
And don't forget,